The Rap Roundtable.
Episode 121 of New York's #1 podcast for hip hop. Get your ones up in the chat.
You niggas won!
The Rap Roundtable is here to deliver yet again. It's your boy Jarv here alongside Cicida Rap Snob.
What up, what up?
Alongside Dini the
May the
Balance.
force be with you.
Alongside Macito.
Good, yeah.
It's a rainy night in New York City,
Yeah.
but we are
Fact.
still in this studio.
On deck.
Ready to cook up. Vibes Cartel is at Barclays Center.
Listen,
Yeah.
we
Got
might need to
all the
pass by
ladies
later
and they
on,
skimpies
man.
right
Heavy.
now, ready to wind up.
Hey,
and,
girls.
And
Big up
show
on
out.
yourself.
It's a lot of blonde weaves,
Yeah.
blonde short haircuts, green.
Chill, my lady,
Right, a lot of
chill, my lady
clocks.
might be watching. My lady might be watching.
Hey, I'm just saying what's
that's them. That's them.
A lot
I'm
of clocks in the air.
I'm good. I'm good.
just
I'm going straight
setting
home,
the
babe.
scene for what's
Got eyes.
happening at the Barclays Center right now. You know what I mean? Just letting y'all know. But anyway, of course, Rap Roundtable 121. You can find us everywhere: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and of course Twitter.
And of course, outside.
you
And
dig?
of-
Outside.
And of course, outside.
that's it.
If you haven't by now, because you know, if it's not about rappers, they don't want to tune in as much. But again, we had one of the biggest underground shows
Yes.
in New York City.
Big New York.
Crazy.
Almost like well, I think you said it was like a summer
It's
jam.
like
an
summer
underground
jam.
It was
summer
like an
jam.
underground summer jam at Baby's All Right, somewhere in Williamsburg.
Yes, yes.
Rome Streets put together a cast of people from throughout the city, not just a Brooklyn thing,
Great
not just
artists.
a Queens thing, not a Bronx thing, not a Harlem thing. New York came together and made some
Yes.
fire shit happen.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
And they allowed us, shout out to Coach, shout out to
That's
Rome
Coach.
for allowing us to
100%.
document
Bad
the
influence,
event,
man.
Yes, yes.
put it on for the town. Great interviews with a lot of artists, some of which will be sitting on this chair pretty soon as we continue. Because when people like to accuse us about talking about Kendrick, it be them a couple of these dork ass motherfuckers like, oh,
about
you
it.
should put niggas onto the new artists and shit like that. And then I say, do the knowledge.
We
Because
out
if
here.
you go back in our lexicon, we have been interviewing plenty of artists
Plenty.
Yeah.
Talk about
from New York. I would say 97%
Highlighting.
of the artists that we've ever interviewed are from New York
it.
City.
The town,
Absolutely.
man.
Sitting
Underground
right on
acts
this
from
couch
the town.
or right at that table over there.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Whether they were
Legendary
super
table.
lit or on the ascent, we've had them on our platform
Oh, remember how early we was on Rome?
very early.
Early.
We had
Extremely
Rome Streets on the interview was December 2020. It aired in 2021 if I'm not
Crazy.
mistaken,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Correct.
So you know what I mean. Do the knowledge.
Do the
okay?
knowledge.
You know,
Googles.
like all this, like yeah, we talk about the popular stuff because I always explain to you how YouTube works. When you subscribe, your subscriptionship, your subscribership, pardon me, has a certain amount of people who like a certain artist. We give them what they want,
Come on now.
but that doesn't mean that we stop delivering the shit that we supposed to deliver, like the underground acts. Even if I throw a name, a matter of fact, last year I mentioned Fergie Baby's name.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying
Salute
on this
to
podcast
Fergie,
in
man.
passing.
More on him later on.
More on him later on. He'll be at this chair soon as well. You know.
Later.
So we're outside. We've always been outside.
Always.
We've been to plenty of events that we just never got to document. We just not
Right.
like braggy guys, but it's been events. Shit, what was the last one we had went to? Was it the Dev the Moonlight Marauders? Right?
Moonlight
Was that the last
Marauders,
one?
we was
Yeah.
out for that. You know what I mean? We've been to a few Rome shows. You know what I mean? We was
Backstage,
out.
man.
We was out for all, the Nas shows, the Wu-Tang
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah, heavy.
Ross, Click.
Ross.
So much so that when niggas not there or they late, it's noticed. Niggas was cursing out Mase for being late.
Shit. We was
Come on.
we was VIP at the Freddie.
It was
Freddie
looking
Gibbs
for
show.
Freddie Gibbs. That's what I could have remembered.
Shout out to
V-
Joe.
Yeah,
Bless niggas.
VIP at the Freddie Gibbs
And
show.
even
So
solo, like
we be out there, man.
Dean was at the 50 tour. You was at the last Kendrick tour. I was
Oh,
at the
nah,
last
man.
Drake tour. Even solo, we
At
be
the
outside,
Future
bro.
concert, man. Niggas,
We love
We
this
went,
shit,
we went to
man,
the joint
for real.
for Sean Price when they had the memorial out on the
Ooh,
opposite side of
yeah,
Brooklyn.
yeah,
Ooh.
Rest in peace,
Brooklyn.
Sean P.
Damn, I missed fucking up the name, but they're doing it again
Yeah.
next month, actually.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
We
what's
will
up.
be
Bean
there.
touched
We will
that,
be there.
yeah.
Shout
Yeah,
out
Duck
to that.
Down, Boot Camp Click,
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Classic Brooklyn, classic New York.
So don't get it twisted. We talk about a lot of shit, but when it comes to being around, people know the hat. And it was funny. I laughed with Dini on the side. A few of the artists when we was like, "Yo, you know what I mean? We the rap round. Yo, rap round table. I know you niggas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's nice to
As soon
be
as you
known,
say the name, man.
A couple of cats was like, "I've been waiting to come and sit at the chair. What's good? You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Beautiful.
So we are outside. You know
Name
what I
rings
mean?
bells.
The beat you hear in the background is made by Sincere Beats. He makes beats.
Holla at
Super
me.
producer.
You know what I mean?
Talk to me.
And per usual,
We are tonight's entertainment.
And if y'all not pot on our level,
You niggas
that's
wrong.
what we do. You know, quick anecdote from that night before we get into what we about to get into. That night I left, you know, my car broke down.
What?
You know, I was saving it for the pod. So, crap ass night. So, let me tell y'all, when I left to get to the venue, you know, every year in New York, they dig up the streets, you know what I mean? And they put the new asphalt down and shit.
Always.
So, around the corner from my block, like literally, I busted left, went down to the next light. They dug the street up. There was an exposed manhole. But normally, the exposed manholes don't do bad because
Bruh.
it's a manhole.
Yo.
That's what it's called. It's not a sewer. It's called a manhole.
That did sound crazy, though.
That's what it's called, though. That's what are you supposed to say?
I want problems.
What else I'm gonna call it?
The exposed manhole sounded crazy, though. But keep cooking, though.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Diddy ain't gonna let you live,
now,
bro.
bro.
Stay a little sewer.
It's not a sewer.
hole, man. Like, I don't know.
I don't know what to call it.
Diddy is
An extremely large pothole.
DD, you know why I'm not impressed? Because DD be the first one to be like, hey, yo, you know what I mean? He understood. Sid always on defense with that shit, so he cooking right now. You know what I mean? I understand. I hit the drops.
I just didn't want to be the first one
Sin's
tonight.
like, yo.
So, you know what I mean?
Well, what can I
Everything
call
counts, man.
Can't call it nothing else.
I ain't mad.
But I
Sin.
digress. So you have me sit frying already. You know what I mean?
Cook, Jarvie.
Oh, shit.
So the exposed manhole was there.
Yo,
It's just starting to sound like a Kanye tweet.
Nah, that reminds me of that Biggie skit where he was at. So after I shits on the bitch, right?
So I'm going to bust the left, bro. I'm like at the light. I'm the first car.
Yeah.
So you can't even floor it. I just hit the gas to just make a left. Boom, I hear a loud noise. I'm like, fuck, did this shit hit the front of my car? But the way they dug it out, pause.
Hey. That
It
was
was it. See?
Yo, what?
You know what I mean?
Yo, you sure you want to continue with the story,
I don't
man?
give a shit. But they didn't do a clean job of it. So it was a bit of a slope. And my car's low to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit the shit, and I thought it was the front of my car. So I go out check the front. I'm like, yeah, that shit sounded crazy, bro. But the front of my car is fine. Bet maybe it was the bottom of the car. Cool. Drive all the way to Williamsburg. Y'all know I live in West Bubblefuck. Going from my crib to Williamsburg is out the way.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm saying? I get there, no problem. The car ride's fine. We have a hell of a night. We document a hell of an event. This is a
Immaculate.
great vibe. I get back in the car. You wanted to go get your chicken and shit. I'm like, my car's parked on the opposite side. Y'all niggas go ahead.
that's a fact.
I get in the car. I see the oil pressure meter come up on the dash. So I'm like, oh shit, do I need an oil change or is this something else? Start the car. Get all the way to Crown Heights. I'm like, my car sound wild funny, bro. Can I make it home? At Crown Heights, I'm only halfway home at Crown Heights.
Shit.
Then it just shuts down. Shit. I'm on Schenectady and like Lincoln. I'm in Crown Heights.
Yeah,
nigga.
boy. Lock them doors.
What time was that?
Whatever time we left, I don't even
Jeez.
remember.
Like 2 in the morning, bro.
Yo.
I restart.
Wildly.
I'm like, nah, come on, come back. Comes back on. I'm able to drive down 3 more blocks. I get to Schenectady and Easter Parkway. I'm at the intersection. I put the fucking hazards on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that my car is completely dead because it's blinking inside the car. Everyone's like, bah, 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 honking. So you don't see the fucking hazards? I come out the car, the hazards is not even blinking.
Wow.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on, bro?
Man down.
Long story less long. I gotta be a traffic officer telling the niggas at like 2 in the morning in the trenches, conducting niggas around the fucking car. We have a problem. You know what I mean? You know? So
Conductor.
I contact AAA. Thankfully, they put an emergency car. I said, I'm in the intersection, bro. I can't go nowhere.
Fucking
I
up
can't wait
traffic.
for niggas. Luckily, there was one of the fucking the drivers was over by like where the Canarsie Brownsville border is over there by like what is it, like 90, like Rockaway Parkway and Ditmas over there on that side. Near 98th. Bro came through. When he put the car in the lift, there's a puddle of oil under the car. So I cracked my oil pan. So slowly as I'm driving, for the time I parked in Williamsburg, all of the oil has been leaking out of my car. So when I started to drive it to go home, the rest of it came out, shut the shit down. I was like, Can't be fucking serious.
Wow.
I gotta tell these niggas on the pod, like,
Dog was
our
Bruh.
great night was ended off by me being stuck for like an hour and a half
Job had to
In
hold
the-
on to this story for a little minute.
in the in the trenches, bro. And I'm like, yo, I'm over here. One nigga's like, yo, we can help you push the car. 3 old, dirty looking niggas. So, nah, I'm good, bro.
I'm glad. Listen,
Good.
All the
listen,
way
man.
good. In the
Arizona
real estate,
Ron tried to
Knock
get
on
this
wood.
nigga.
I'm glad you're still here with us, man.
Facts,
Because
bro.
I could have gone super left.
Yo.
Right?
I'm not stupid.
Oil spill down the block sounds like he was trying to
Jeez.
win a Mario Kart.
Right.
So,
I feel bad for whoever had to drive over there after I left. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not stupid. Y'all 3 old niggas. Y'all windows is down. We could help you push it out of
Not a
it. So I
good
said, nah, I'm straight.
I'm good, boy.
I'm good. Like 4 minutes later, my phone rang and AAA was like, all right, we got to drive in 10 minutes away. I'm like, all right, niggas, I'm not done. I'm going to sit right in this fucking car.
You know?
But I'm not, I will sit down when there's no lights or not too many cars because like standing outside looking crazy,
Yeah.
not a good look.
Yeah, that's just
But anyway,
bad.
that was the end of my night. While y'all niggas was eating chicken
Yeah.
and feeling good, my car
Jeez.
broke down because I cracked my oil pan trying to get to the event and didn't know until well after the fact.
For the record, Job, I didn't get no chicken. They got some chicken.
Yeah, I got me a little street
Oh,
tackle
we
box.
got- we kicked out.
Macito, we went to fucking Crab House and you ordered mad corn. So we know you want a strict diet.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Healthy.
You got a
Everything
point.
healthy.
You got a point.
mad food on the table. Mace ordered corn and some other shit. I don't know what it was. Steak and corn,
Some chicken.
steak and shit.
Couple slices. You know what I mean?
That's why he the slimmest nigga here. You know what I mean?
That's
Couple
a fact.
slices.
But I digress.
Damn.
GNX has been out for close to, I want to say 5 months now.
Yes, sir.
Dropped November.
5 months.
Yeah, it's been 5 months.
22nd.
You know, big singles. The Luther video was out. People were begging for that, being that it's been dominating the charts.
Yes, yes.
There's been so much noise, of course, surrounding the beef that we're not talking about this album in the way we should be. Like now, like all time conversation, so to speak, because considering the way numbers number in this climate and what he's doing, and the debate about did he dumb it down or not, or is this his most accessible album or not? We'll get into that as well. But is it time to start calling this album a classic? Macito set the tone with a viral clip. Shout out to Mace. Big viral
Macito.
across
Shit.
Instagram and
Shit.
Twitter.
Triple
Almost
platinum
towards
doing 50 a
4K.
week.
Shit, you know what I mean?
Almost
It
to
got to
4Ms, my
Instagram
fault.
with niggas clipping it themselves, not even us forcing it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Macito, but in the midst of that, he was talking about there's no classic album without any skips. And it's people who've had their feelings about certain songs in this album. So it's like, I guess let's bring it back to the Carter 3. Is this a classic album or a classic moment? Consider Rap Snob. You know you got to go first.
Good point.
Oh, I thought you was going to Mace.
Nah,
Okay.
not at all.
Send you.
You
Um,
the Kendrick
It's
fan.
Kendrick,
Come on
bro.
now. They waiting to hit for
Listen.
you on this.
You know I'm very careful about using the C word.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it has been almost 6 months. You know what I mean? I like to wait a little bit longer. 6 months is, but in today's day and age, you know, I'm an old head. You know what I mean? So I'm like, let it like a good year pass by.
You're a
You know what I
snob,
mean?
man. Nothing wrong with that.
But in you know, in today's day and age, 6 months, all right, let's start assessing it. So let's look at the album. Let's break it down like tier by tier.
Let's get it.
Musically, incredible, rich, even. You know what I mean? It's such a the diversity of the music, the diversity of the content and the subject matter. Like he covers so many bases in one album, and that's the thing. Like you usually think of Kendrick Lamar as like sticking to one theme, and you know, crafting a full album off of that one theme where people think like, you know, oh, he's kind of pigeonholing himself. Right. But here he feels much freer to, you know, because the theme is just LA, it's just Cali. You know what I mean? There's so many facets to Cali that he can, you know, tap into. So you have songs like Reincarnated along with a Luther. You know what I mean? You have songs like Peekaboo next to Dodger Blue. You know what I mean? You have these thought-provoking songs along with the bops and the hits and the slappers. You know what I mean? So musically, it's probably I would say his furthest reaching album. And in that sense, I would liken it to something like a Biggie Life After Death. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna look before people start flying off the handle. I'm not saying this is better or as good as Life After Death.
I already heard some guns
you already,
now.
I mean,
yeah,
does
you already
it
heard,
matter? They gonna fly off the handle anyway.
You already heard, you know what I mean, the people fly, falling out their chair and shit. But that's the feeling I get from it. You know what I mean? In terms of like how much he wanted to cover musically and executing on it. You know what I mean? Not just not it just being
cheap attempts.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like he executed. Then so musically, it checks off that box. Impact wise, shit. What's been more impactful than GNX? I'm waiting. Like somebody, Mase.
Hey,
Deanie.
recent years.
You got it. I can't argue.
Walt. Was it Kanye? Did Kanye do something? Nah.
Not in a long time. Not in a long time.
GNX has been the most impactful project, body of work, in the longest time. You know what I mean? Like we could talk, and I don't want this to digress into a Kendrick versus Drake conversation, but we could talk, some Drake projects, but it's like the Drake projects feel like they have a very immediate impact, and the impact is felt, you know what I mean? But it's not. It doesn't feel as, I don't want to say long lasting, but it doesn't feel as it permeates throughout the culture as the same way GNX is permeating throughout the culture right now, right? So the impact is there. Now let's take it to the charts. Now, I know for a lot of y'all, and even myself included, charts don't matter. Like at the end of the day, like you like what you like.
Right.
But the fact that the hits are hitting, you know what I mean? He's dominating the charts. Not like us, not on the album, but from that into into Squabble Up. Now Luther, you know what I mean? And the Luther video just dropped, an immaculate piece of work right there. So he's checking off all the boxes. It's a classic. GNX is a classic.
Wow, I didn't expect Sin to say that.
It's a classic. Why wouldn't you expect me to say that?
Because I know you're very particular about using that word.
It is what, you know what I mean? When you really break it down and you check off all the boxes, it is what it is. It's a classic.
Okay.
I'm crowning
Why
it.
are you saying it so aggressively? I'm not even.
I'm just saying. 'Cause
Like,
I know. I feel.
buddy.
I will say this, Job. It's
I feel like you're about to argue against me.
Nah.
All
I just want
right.
to hear your
It's
thoughts.
a
good
lot
bro.
I said my
more bass
piece.
in his voice.
I spoke my piece.
I said my piece, bro. All right.
Yo, bro. Comedy.
It's a lot more bass
I'm just
in his
asking,
voice.
Sin, out of you
All
for
right,
clarity.
all right. All right.
Talking about this,
Yeah.
when he called the Mr. Morale a classic, he kind of said it low. You know?
Word.
It's a
Some
lot of bass in his voice.
Word.
But it's GNX classic.
It's a classic,
He's very
nigga.
boastful right now.
Ready to fight by the
Hold
boastful,
on.
I dig it, Sin.
Hold on.
I dig it.
I feel attacked right
Your reputation does precede
You're right.
you.
Wow.
So
You're right.
all
You're
right.
absolutely right.
We know each other.
But it's
I've
not-
met you before.
It's not my turn to talk yet.
All right.
You
But I
know?
have met you.
You're right.
All right.
It's been a while. He's met me more than once. You know what I mean?
Yo.
What's up, bro?
I think if you look at what the word classic would mean, usually it's a combination of a few things. You have longevity is one of them.
This is the nigga you need to worry about right
No.
Listen,
Longevity.
He ain't ready thinking about
What about that?
I'm
Yeah.
over here listening like, all right,
Just-
then,
just
where you
let-
going with
let-
this
let-
one,
No,
man?
it's because when you think of classic, it's a lot of things that go into it. Did it improve on the design? Did it do something new? Shout out to Lupe. Did it like raise the stakes? Is it something that people will follow in terms of that sound of music? Did it create that impact? Did it I think it's a classic moment that will turn into a classic album. I think when you add everything that transpired, my fault, throughout the course of that 1 year, bro.
Everything that sweated.
I know that's crazy. I had to fix that.
He already
I
saw
had
from
to
that
fix
Migos.
that.
That's what's fucking
I'm a little hot.
That's what it is.
I'm hot, but I'm
It,
here.
it is rather warm in here today.
It is.
I don't know what's
It's
going on.
toasty.
man.
And the shirts ain't helping. But yeah, I think when you add in the maybe the most substantial rap battle in terms of like the most songs we got out of a rap battle, the most like eyes, the most everything that happened with it. You had a clean sweep at the Grammys for Not Like Us. You had the pop out, reinvigorating the West Coast, getting the fucking gangs to collaborate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You add what he's did with Mustard, how Mustard's getting the claim that Mustard's getting. It's a whole cycle of a whole bunch of shit. Not to mention he's about to go on tour.
Yep.
You know, with the pretty much outside of like Beyonce, the biggest R&B act right now. I can't think anyone who's doing more than SZA right now. You know, Beyonce's in country right now, so
yeah. I mean, I was about to ask, is Beyonce even?
So you add that, and then you add the actual album. You know, where the music was really good, the songs are really good, the chart placement is really good, and it's one of those situations where the value of the music is matching what the streets is given and what the charts is given.
Is it a classic? Did he doing a lot of talking?
No, it's because. I mean, it's
all,
we never said
everything you're saying sounds like you want to call it a classic, but you're not. But you're not going to. And I want to hear why.
Only because it's only been 4 or 5 months. Like usually, I've never said an album's a classic outside of like the old, like shout out to Jaw with the 90s music that fucked us all up apparently. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that,
when you first heard Cuban Links, was it a classic?
Chasing that hit
when I first heard it, I was like, yo, this has potential to be something crazy.
Okay.
Like I think in time it will be revered as a classic. I think there's still people who are gonna be like, yo, it's only been 5 months.
I knew D-Nate was gonna hate.
Do you think
How am I
hating?
Do I think I think
revered as a classic?
Yo,
that's what I call when I'm hating too.
Nah,
when I'm talking about some other shit.
It's
definitely
definitely on this way, man. It has all the classic components, man. You can't argue the facts. It's definitely doing everything that a classic album is supposed to do. The videos are fucking going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like to this day, like everything is hitting. I think when people look back, people might super classic this. You know what I'm saying? Do I think it's a classic? I think it has potential. I have to listen to it in a year. It's hard for me to say right now. You know what I'm saying? Like back where we're from, a classic was something you listen to 5 years later and you still felt that same feeling. So if I get that same feeling from the album next year, a year after, 2 years after, I'm going to have to undoubtedly say it's a classic. But it's definitely on the right path to heading to be a classic.
Wake up.
It's on its way.
Open the door. Lay on the floor.
You've been robbed.
It's the player hater right here.
Just keeping
It's you, bro. It's you. You know what I mean? For the young people who don't know that song, Biggie Smalls, Life After Death, Player Hater,
which Mase might say is a skippable record.
It's really not. It's actually not. It's actually the most underrated Biggie song of all time.
I love Player Hater, actually.
Right. When I tell you, I get angry to my core when people point to Player Hater as the reason why they don't call
with me.
Life After Death a classic.
This Robin spree.
Bro.
You get money.
That just shows me that you take shit way too seriously. If you don't find the humor and the brilliance in that song, in that performance, like clearly tongue in cheek, clearly like, just being sarcastic and satirical.
Fire.
So good. Shouts to Biggie. R.I.P.
That nigga's in here singing.
That was peak Bad Boy. Peak Bad Boy.
That song is the reason why I like Drake now, man. I like the melody.
Oh, man.
Speaking of the Masito, GNX 5 months later.
Listen,
classic album, classic moment. Let's talk about it.
I sense a little bit of hesitancy, even from you, Sin. Seemed like you had to, convince us first.
What you mean?
You know what I mean? For me, it's a definite yes.
Okay.
It's a definite yes.
Okay.
Fuck all the time constraint shit. Fuck that, man. Like, that's some shit our uncles told us because they wanted us to say Chuck D was better than Jeezy. All right? Fuck all that, man.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't want us to say Blueprint was better than Nations. You know what I mean?
Hold on.
They said it got to be out 10 years first.
Hold on.
You know what I mean?
The timestamp it, clip it, so you can go.
Why?
Because he needs to go viral again.
Listen. They gonna get me slandering in 90s.
But is Blueprint not better?
Is it not? Listen.
Then what?
Whatever Public Enemy
Black
dropped
Planet?
ever.
Yes.
Let me be honest.
Let's talk about it. You know it is.
I mean, if you're like 47 or like 53, I understand if you don't like Blueprint. You know what I mean? But if you're of age, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Bro, you're like 4 months from insulting me. I'll be insulted in August. As for now, I'll let it slide.
But now we good.
That's why I chose that number specifically. Gave you a little wiggle room. You know what I mean?
Sin is good, but the rest of you niggas,
You niggas wild. You know what I mean? Where that drop at?
You niggas wrong.
Oh shit!
As you were, Mase.
But you know, to me, it's a definite yes, bro. This is a clear classic. I'm gonna pat myself on the back a little bit. On the classic original GNX reaction we had, dropped immediately. I said back then that upon the first couple listens, I felt it was the best album he dropped since Good Kid. And I don't think that anything since then has made me feel any different. This album, bro, like it is to me like the super modern classic. You know what I mean? Not the classic that's a callback to what we used to like back in the day. You know what I mean? This is you know, this is modern. You know what I mean? It's contemporary. You know what I mean? Like y'all said, it checks every single box, right? The album length, you know what I mean? It's not crazy, it's not too short, it's not, 30 fucking songs, Playboy Cardi. You know what I mean? It's the exact type of album that you need in 2025 when we all just paying $10 for these streaming services. Yes. You know what I mean? I don't need, 25 songs because I'm not paying $25 for a CD anymore. You know what I mean? He's giving you what you need. You know what I'm saying? Pause. The cohesion of the album, which is, I feel is lost a lot nowadays, right? A lot of, and I feel like, you mentioned Drake. I feel like that the quality of music to me is never what holds Drake back. It's the fact that it's playlist music. You know what I mean? It's no cohesion.
He's the king of the playlist album,
right? And you know what I mean? There's no thread that kind of ties these songs together. It's just a bunch of songs that he recorded. That's the exact opposite with GNX. You know what I mean? It even with thematic differences or production differences, it still feels like the album is all supposed to be together. The sequencing is on point. You know what I mean? I heard somebody say they don't give a fuck about sequencing the other day. Even as a nigga who be shitting on the old ways, that kind of hurt me.
Wait. Let's pump our brakes. Can we put a name on who said that?
It was a random Twitter guy. It was a popular Twitter hip hop name, but not one that I can remember off rip. But it was one of those hip hop Twitter guys.
That's like a nerd would say.
You know what I mean?
I feel like blaming nerd.
It might have been. I gotta check him. I gotta check. You know what I mean? I gotta check him.
I'm gonna take note. I'm gonna go search that later for my lawn.
Yeah, we have to. We have to. It's sonically bold, right? It's an album that didn't sound like, what the popular shit on the radio was, what the popular shit that the last 10 niggas dropped was, you know what I mean? So the beats bump, the beats are hard, but it's not some shit that you used to. You know what I mean? I appreciated that. Potent, but not overwhelming features. You know what I mean? All the features hit. Everybody doing what they supposed to do, but it's not, you're not looking at a track list and it's like starring or featuring him, featuring this guy, and that guy, featuring this guy, that. You know what I mean? It's none of them overtake Kendrick. You know what I mean? There's no like arguments about some random guy had the best verse on his album type of situation. The singles, we all know some of the hardest singles that we've had on a rap album. You know what I mean? And who knows how long? You know what I mean? And we haven't had that experience in a minute, right? Hard singles on a rap album. You know what I mean? Like where you looking forward to the video. You looking to see what's getting played on the radio. You haven't had that experience.
Asking for that Luther video.
Yeah, come on, they was asking for it. You know what I mean? He almost had to make it. You know what I mean?
But he waited till Drake announced the fucking stream with Aiden Ross to drop it on the same day.
It'll never stop. You know what I mean?
The timing of that drop, considering the tour is near, of course he dropped the visual.
Makes sense.
Foot on next season. You know what I mean? Listen, to me, obviously lyricism is important, right? But for me personally, when I judge classic albums, not all classics have great lyricism, but it does have memorable lyrics and memorable songs. You know what I'm saying? It's shit that's gonna hit, shit that you're gonna remember, shit that people not only be using for captions, but for for life statements. You know what I mean? So you gotta appreciate that.
Quotables.
One thing that people get lost on is that it's hit multiple demographics, right? Like a lot of people feel like an album is a classic because it hit you and the people like you and y'all all think it's great. You know what I'm saying? But nobody else really, it don't hit for nobody else like that. You got, for this, we got Luther and Dodger Blue. You ever played Dodger Blue for the kids? They love that shit. Luther loved it. You know what I mean? You got the TV off, the squabble up. That's the radio jams. You in the whip, those is bumping. Then you at the spot, you got peekaboo going on. You know what I mean? Then you want to get into your lyricism bag. You know what I mean? The MCs are listening to
day one I heard
Reincarnated.
peekaboo. I was like, that's that one.
Job
right
called
there.
that early. Job called that super early.
Shaky. That's
Yeah.
shout out to him.
So the fact that
There you
multiple
go, AZ Chike.
I had to fix it. From
Dean might be the first
1,000
nigga
years
to
ago.
ever get it right on the show. So, you know, multiple demographics can call and say this album is for me. You know what I mean? Which is, to me, one of the underrated parts of classics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not just,
That's a
you
fact.
know, we talk about different people, you know, different bubbles of rap. This is not one of those albums. Everybody loves it, bro, except, you know, the Embassy. But, so when,
As they
you know,
should.
it's not like, you know, I'm not one of them
Have they
people-
revoked your card yet?
Not yet. You know,
Damn, it still swipes.
Mace is board certified.
I've been in since 09, you know what I mean? These youngins,
Board
you know, these
certified.
post views, embassy, you know, cats, they can't fuck
Paradise.
with us. You know what I mean? I played Joff
You're-
Ransom, bro.
so you're,
you know what I mean?
So you're in the union, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
They're not.
They got
they're not
hooks.
getting rid of you.
You know what I mean?
certified,
They gotta
man.
find me doing some crazy shit to get rid of me. So I'm not one of them people that gatekeep classics. I feel like this decade has produced, you know, a few classics. We got Magic, we got Her Loss, we got Soul Sold Separately,
Yeah.
Don't Kill Me, Donda, you know what I'm saying? Pray for Paris.
What?
You know what I mean? We
What?
Don't Trust You.
Donda's a classic.
Donda's a classic to me. I recently have gone, not recently, but I've gone back to it since then. Donda's a classic to me. We Don't Trust You is a classic.
Walt in the cut.
Walt
celebrating.
is rocking.
We gotta break that video when y'all
You know what I
niggas
mean?
get that look at each other.
Walt is
What are
rocking
you
with me.
talking about?
So
Walt
to me,
the great.
What the fuck
we
are you
do have a
talking
few
about?
classics that have come in this era. You know what I mean? So I'm not one of those
Donda's
people
like
that,
50 songs long, bro. What are you talking
Listen,
about?
Donda's fire, bro. Donda's fire.
Donda is good.
Donda is, and I hated on Donda upon arrival. So you know what I mean?
Oh,
Listen,
this is just one of Mace's flip flop
you-
moments.
exactly, you know what I
see.
mean? I hated
see
on
what's going
Donda.
All right.
You know what I mean? So
Donda needed to be structured. That's
Hold-
what Walt
hold-
says in the cut.
hold on, hold on,
Donda needed to
hold
be
on, Walt.
structured.
Welcome to the club, Walt.
If we're adding Donda,
But
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, like, you can't just say the album's a classic even though it's a mess. Like, what does that even mean?
Walt called it a mess. I don't think it's a mess.
No, I'm talking to Walt right now. Walt, you need to hold on. You need to come on camera
elaborate.
now. You need to come on camera and explain your take.
I don't do that.
No,
Like,
let's
why?
not do that to Walt. I called it a classic.
All
You
right,
know what I mean?
fuck it,
So,
fuck it.
Yo, off the
I
rails.
also believe
Okay. He doesn't have his Kanye T-shirt on either, so he
Yeah,
has to
yeah,
be
he's
prepared.
killing
You mean your manifesto?
manifesto
Shit.
is a dangerous
That
word
part.
these
Oh,
days.
shit.
But you know, so I'm not one of the people that gatekeep classics. This is absolutely a classic, bro. Sin mentioned Life After Death. To me, what the vibes that I get from this is more like a one disc All Eyes on Me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's what's real. That's the way he's kind of affecting things with the multiple singles, with the aggression, with almost the comeback energy, with the fact that Not Like Us isn't on here, Hit 'Em Up wasn't on All Eyes on Me. That's kind of the vibe I get with this album. So for me, it's an
Okay, nice.
absolute classic and maybe the best already of the decade. I'm gonna be honest
Well
with you.
thought out perspective by Mase.
Sir.
You know, when this album first came out, I was leaning heavily towards classic moment, but not for the slanderous reasons that I labeled the Carter 3, which is not a good album. Has some great singles, but it's not a good album.
Great
Sorry.
singles.
But I just felt like in real time, you know, the battle, the pop out, the visuals, the LA uniting
Super Bowl.
before the Super Bowl. The album drops and it's just like, yo, this is like the culmination of a year of a lifetime. But I find myself because, you know, partially because 2025 has been kind of mid. I'm still spinning this album. And, you know, sorry, Macito, you know, just to put a dovetail on this segment, I don't find myself hitting the skip button like that either. You know, I got the songs that I want to hear more so than others. But to me, this project right here, for the first time in quite a long time, I'll say maybe I'm wrong as far as classics go, like things where we at the barbershop or we randomly start like listing off classics, things we talking about. This is the first time I think since probably Push's album was 2017 that dropped.
2018.
2018.
Daytona, yep.
Daytona. To me, this is the first pure classic since Daytona, bro.
Wow.
Pure classic. Not like debatable classic where some might say yes and some might say no. I think this is a pure classic. I thought it would be a classic moment, and then after the hype died down, some of the songs wouldn't hit the same. But the way he sequenced the album, which matters, I do like certain songs more, for sure. But I don't find myself hitting the skip button to get to my favorite song because the song right before it kind of sets the table, creates the runway that's necessary for it. And then you have, to me, a keynote for me in classic albums is like some of the highs, like some of the songs that I really like, you know, like, oh, this song's stupid. Like for me, like when I first heard Blueprint, I always say like, when I listen to like Never Change, I'm like, this is different. Song Cry, this is different. Like, this is like Heart of the City. Like when you have those moments and he did it consecutively, shit like that, it's like, bro, like, oh, when you hear a Reincarnated, you know what I mean, with the little Italian singing and shit like that, like, boy. Although credit to Ransom, I felt like he kind of nibbled from Ransom on Reincarnated. You know how like what Ransom did Nefarious. Similar concepts,
right?
Talking to himself, but he's playing a spiritual character. Shit like that. Yeah. But Reincarnated, stupid. TV Off being like the concert song. You know what I mean? When that beat switch. Because then ironically, of all of the bangers, I think I like Squabble Up the least now, because when you hear the body of work, it's like, yo, like, wait a minute. He had this, and he was giving us Squabble Up. Of course, y'all know how I feel about Peekaboo. You got the Dodger Blue. You got the Luthers. And it's like this whole argument about, you know, this being Kendrick's most like accessible album. And it's just like, bro, like, so Kendrick's next album, he might decide to go back the other way again and give you some super high, dense, falutin shit that you gotta think about for months. You know what I'm saying? You don't know with this nigga. Right. You know what I mean? But it's like the fact that he's able to, you know, to use Hove as an example again, to give you a quote, a volume 2. Hove was giving us dense street shit from mad long shit that was over our head. Shit from, I can tell you, hands down, because I was a kid. Shit from Reasonable I was catching when I became an adult that made way more sense. Volume 1 that made way more sense as an adult than it did when I was a kid.
Watching,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like the fact that he could give you his quote volume 2 where it's just like, I'm gonna just beat you over the head. Single shit. But it's not like sappy radio shit like Mase made that point. These are hard records that are radio ready.
Yeah.
And to that end, the other album that it kind of made me think about, again, not saying is as good as or as much of a classic as, but it made me think about the impact the Chronic had back in 92, because it completely shifted the landscape of the sound right. musically and sonically. And I was gonna make another point, but I forgot it. But yeah,
it'll come back to you.
Yeah, but the Chronic, like that's like that impact that it had on the music scene, at the hip hop scene at that time. That's how I'm feeling like GNX has the impact right now.
For sure, and it's just like we talked about it with Glasses. You know, regionality matters to me, and for you to make a heavy West Coast project at a time where, like, people could say now West Coast is the wave now, but a year ago today, matter of fact, I put it on. I said it on my square. The day before GNX dropped, was the West Coast sound really the wave?
Nah,
right.
Nah.
GNX there was no album on a mainstream level that sounded like GNX.
And that's the other point I was gonna get at was the like taking that West Coast sound that is so organic to them and them alone, and making it to where it feels mainstream, but it doesn't sound like anything that's ever been mainstream up until now.
And that's the difference I feel like between this and Damn. Damn was quote a commercial album, but it sounded like he clearly was like, this is the type of shit that would get spins on radio, whatever, 2017, 2018 era. This is what works.
Yeah.
With GNX, it was like, I'm making some West Coast shit. And I'm not saying LA because there's certain songs to me that's like LA, like TV over LA. To me, Dodger Blues LA, because LA they love the 70s soul.
Yeah.
They love that R&B. Even the most gangstest nigga loves some R&B out west from that era.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then you hear a Peekaboo. To me, when I hear Peekaboo, that's an Oakland record. You know what I'm saying? That's not so much an LA record. So he was trying to put on for the coast as opposed to making something very LA specific. You know what I mean? Like I gotta give credit to Victory Lap. I feel like Victory Lap was almost like the precursor to what a GNX was supposed to be, because Nip also kept this shit pure West. Like there were certain things about the way he rhymed that reminded me of a New York guy, the way he put his bars together, his cadence and shit like that. But the Sonics was West Coast, heavy. Yeah. And I feel like, you know, this project GNX is like the next evolution of a Victory Lap. Where like I'm making a West as fuck project, and I'm gonna still be myself, but instead of me talking specifically for myself, because Victory Lap didn't have that many features. He brought a lot of young homies, people that have never had this shine. And you see the interviews that they did. They were so thankful for the opportunity. You see the AZ Chike homie, like when the Grammys was happening, how his family was celebrating. Not the Grammy, the Super Bowl. Pardon me. When they performed Peekaboo at the Super Bowl, how hype he was. It's like these niggas, a year ago to that day, they didn't think this shit was real. They're all even doable. Now you want the biggest album in the country. You know what I'm saying?
Killing the charts.
I feel like for me, this is a keynote moment. This is an album that's gonna be a conversation piece for years to come. Like now, there's a pre-GNX world, there's a post-GNX world. Even for Drake as a heavyweight in this world, say what you want, he's still a heavyweight. He took an L, so what? Drake post-GNX is trying to find his footing. He did the album with Party Next Door. What's the name of the record again? That's
Nokia.
going crazy. Nokia's going crazy, but Drake used to feel very inevitable before, whereas now I almost get this sense that Drake is like an underdog trying to find his footing in this post-Kendrick GNX world, and it's like how is he gonna find that footing? He's gonna do his numbers because he's popular as fuck. Yeah. But before, Drake could have just copied and pasted records.
Yeah.
Now he has to actually try.
And I hollering at the young talent outside there.
But here's the thing that I always go back to is like there has to be somebody to hit the reset button, right? There has to be somebody to remind people what freshness sounds like, what innovation sounds like, what culture sounds like, what organicness sounds like. Because if that person is not there, then people are just gonna keep feeding at the same microwavable shit that's being spoon-fed to them.
Somebody gotta get in the kitchen and make a home-cooked meal.
Somebody has to cook the full course meal. You know what I mean?
And to your point with as far as the Drake part, I feel like musically he's already affected Drake, because for the people that do like, you know, the new Party Drake record, I'm one of them. One thing that people like about it is that he is leaning into the Toronto regional sound, right? He's getting back into that, you know, that spaced out, sparse production, the type of shit that people liked about the Take Cares and if it was the Sames, that type of era, you know what I mean? So he's even making Drake get into his regional bag, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, he's not putting out Atlanta trap right now.
That's cool, but then he, you know, basically bit off his video when he dropped the Nokia video. He bit off the Not Like Us video. So,
I mean, Drake usually would find his footing from someone else's footing. You know, that's been like a Drake thing. But since he said
was that biting or taking shots,
since he said you ran to Atlanta, he can't just see an Atlanta artist who got a hot wave popping and jump on the wave. He kind of like been ostracized in that way, you know. So he got to literally find a brand new bag.
He been wave hopping for
Drake
the longest.
Shout out to Freddie Wap.
Let's tell the truth here, bro. Drake has been the wave for quite a while. I don't care if the Kendrick fans get mad, because I'm not a Drake fan. I've been very neutral in this shit. But as an observer of rap, and say what you want, and we've said a lot about Drake, but he was the guy
for years,
for better or for worse. He was the guy. He was the wave. He was the stimulus. Because call it what it is, Fetty was on fire, but when Drake got on that, baby, you know what I mean? When Drake got on that shit, gone. Drake did a lot of shit for almost all of the household names for a point in time. Drake was giving niggas the features and they was becoming household names.
Talk about it.
That's why I feel like this post GNX world is important, because it's like he's not that. In fact, Kendrick
is that guy.
You doing the shit with the Cardis. Anybody that gets a Kenny verse right now is getting a stimmy.
Yep.
Facts.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see where we at. You see Cole kind of hesitating to put out the fall off for whatever reason. We not cold insiders, but we know the nigga was riding a fucking bike in New York City a year ago, talking about the fall off, and then all of a sudden we got Mike Delete later. That was supposed to be the precursor to. We were supposed to get the fall off last year.
Yeah.
A year ago, we was debating if he was taking shots at Jay-Z.
Come on, bro.
All it takes is a misstep.
Here's my question. What happened to Dreamville Fest? When is that gonna happen?
Didn't that just happen?
Did it?
Did it?
Wow.
Nobody said nothing about it.
Wow.
Wow.
Man.
Cold,
That's fucked up,
cold
bro.
world indeed.
Wait.
Nobody was talking about it.
Wow.
Cold world, said.
It's a cold world for real. Yo.
No Snuggie, bro.
Yo, you on foul. Wow.
Sid went there.
Shit, I missed it. What happened?
He got me. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about, Sid? We just spoke about this.
Nigga, dog walked the stage just
Shit.
now.
First half.
But if he, but
I
goddamn it,
missed it. Goddamn.
if he asked me one song that was performed, I wouldn't be able to say it neither.
Wouldn't,
Sid, you're
bro.
right. Goddamn it, Sid is right.
Yeah.
Sid is right.
Mucho
Again.
silencio, bro.
I'm here trying to
Quiet.
Bro, I ain't see no clips. Nothing.
Nothing. All we heard is they changing the name of this shit. That's all we heard.
That's tough. It was mad niggas there though,
Bruh.
but it wasn't viral.
Was it another 52K?
When you probably more? Who knows?
They said it was 2 days.
But when
I
you
think so.
apologize and do the shit he did, for better or worse, I'm telling you,
Nasty.
that's why the fall off got to be epic. Because what you did for Sin to even try to play like that, and the fact that there was not much, you couldn't stream it. That was the issue too.
Yeah,
couldn't stream
there was no stream this year. To
And
be
the-
fair,
and the fact that
But-
people didn't feel a need to clip anything,
Nothing.
that means you become like before you was universal acclaim.
yeah.
Y'all could curse me. I don't care. I've been cursed out so much times by thousands, hundreds of thousands
Many.
of people
Yeah.
at this point.
Man.
A lot of people.
But to me, he went from universal acclaim to strictly for his fan base again.
Yeah.
Like he's a platinum rapper, so he has a lot of fans, so they'll pop out. But like when you have universal acclaim, you create conversation.
Yeah.
And the fact that Sin could play like that's because there was no conversations created for Dreamville.
You made people who didn't like your music come around and say,
right.
that guy.
Say
Yeah.
I, not people. Say I. You know what I mean?
Me too.
A lot of niggas
three.
though. A lot
You know
of
what I
niggas.
mean?
You know? But it's really sad. But it was all good just a year ago. You know?
A little
Honestly,
over a year ago.
he didn't even have. He could have just not battled Kendrick, right? He didn't have to apologize. He could have just not said shit and just let that song fizzle because he was already calling it garbage in real time. He could have just let it fizzle away, and nobody would have blinked because we'd have been watching Drake get his back kicked in, and we wouldn't have cared.
He tried and then it just faded out.
And then anyway, see, we kick.
All right.
Cole really
Always
upset.
find a
You know
way.
what I mean,
Every side shoot.
Somebody
right to
tell
that
Sid
back.
when Dreamville Fest
so
is. man.
right.
The 5th and the 6th, I think it was, if I'm not
Chat.
mistaken.
Let us know what y'all think about GNX. Classic album, classic moment. Don't be a pussy and try to say we gotta wait. No,
We putting the poll up for that, or we just gonna let it
I'll
rock?
put the poll up too.
Yeah.
Classic album, classic moment.
Talk about
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Don't be
do
a
that.
scaredy cat. Oh, I don't know yet. No. We gotta move on to an artist that people like to say that Kendrick is following his footsteps in a lot of ways. And that's Nas Escobar.
Yes.
A report came out that the Mass Appeal, the 7 like iconic artists and things of that nature, and they named them.
Yeah.
But then another report came out that
Report.
that was not accurate. And I went on Nas Info's Twitter, and she also confirmed that report is not accurate at all.
A word?
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't be able to see. I'm still
Same.
blocked.
Oh. Nas Info, unblock the guy.
Yeah,
You know
come
what
on,
I mean?
man.
Relinquish.
It was-
We've moved on. We have a better understanding.
Bury the hatchet.
Quite frankly, as well, we
guys.
you know, after certain people did certain things, we've kind of, you know, eased on the coverage because we don't want to get things
Yeah.
misconstrued.
No.
Y'all niggas.
No
man.
Damn,
Double,
son.
double entendre. I don't even know
Don't
how,
ask me
bro.
how,
Even
you know
ask
what I
me
mean?
how,
'Cause I
bro.
meant nothing by it.
Don't ask
But
me
it worked.
how.
It's apropos, but we've eased on the coverage of it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We've made room for other niggas to do what they do. That's a fact. So unblock the guys.
Come
Please.
on.
Yeah, come on.
You know what I mean? But she also confirmed that it's not accurate. So I guess the question I have for y'all, we won't spend too much time on it, is what's up with niggas putting out fake Nas news for clicks? This ain't a rap snob. Talk to me.
Sid, what's up, bro?
All right, fuck it. I'm gonna say it. Sometimes it's all they have.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Sometimes that's all that they can work off of. You know, as much as I love Nas, as much as he is my favorite MC of all time. You know what I mean? We're in 2025, and you know what I mean? There's other rappers to talk about. You know what I mean? Kendrick Lamar, for me, is my modern day GOAT. I can speak on Kendrick Lamar the same way that I can speak on Nas. Maybe not 100%, you know what I mean? Because Nas was there for my formative years. You know what I mean? Kendrick Lamar much older in age, so it doesn't quite hit exactly the same. But you know, I recognize greatness and brilliance when I see it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We could speak on J. Cole's. We could speak on Ransom's. We could speak on, you know, Rome Street. We could be outside for Rome Street and to interview Ransom and to document the scene in New York in real time.
Facts.
Some people, other people, they can only cling on to a certain era where there's just that one rapper that represents that era for them, and that's all they got.
But then to put the all-star team together of niggas, Slick Rick, Big
Ghost.
L,
I mean,
Ghostface,
but look,
like it is like 2025.
Yeah.
1994 All-Star team.
Well, look.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the list right now, the Fugazi list. But we do know that Mobb Deep is working on something. As a name, as Mobb Deep.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
As Mobb Deep. Alchemist is involved in it.
Alk is in that? Oh,
Yeah.
Say that.
Isn't it coming
Okay.
out through Mass Appeal?
Yeah, and Nas is heavily involved. I think it is coming out
Havoc
through
drum
Mass
machine
Appeal.
still works very well.
But so I see that. But some of this other stuff, like Slick Rick, I don't know where that name came from.
Yo.
And now that's the one that they said was dropping the earliest. I'm like, how you figure? Like
April 18th, Slick Rick.
Raekwon, the Emperor's New Clothes. I think I've heard him speak on that fairly recently. There's as far as I know, there wasn't no date on it. Ghostface, Supreme Clientele 2. Ghostface just dropped an album last year. I can't see him dropping another album like back to back like that.
Why not?
I just don't see it for Ghostface.
Is that in his history to drop like that?
It's not.
It's not. I just don't see him doing that. You know what I mean?
That
Big
album
L.
last year,
Where
though,
the fuck did Big L, the name Big L come from? We haven't heard a new Big L verse in 25 years.
2000, yeah. February 2000.
I asked y'all in the chat. I'm like, did niggas like find the hard drive, or are they gonna rework?
I don't know.
I'm sure niggas have.
I asked in the hard drive,
music.
are they gonna be using AI like they did with DMX's new album? Because that doesn't make any
Nah,
sense.
we don't need that.
We haven't heard a Big L verse in forever. I'm the LimeWire era, bro.
In an old Big L verse, that would have been out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a long time, man.
Actually, shit. If my memory serves me, which it might not, you know, because
Oh, head.
Yeah. The target audience.
But the last new Big L verse that I heard was on Terror Squad's last album in 2004.
Yeah.
There was that song with him and Big Pun, and
Bring
I
him
think
back.
yeah, that one, that
Yeah,
joint.
I used to love that shit.
That shit was fire.
That shit was hard,
That
bro.
shit was hard,
That was
bro.
21 years ago.
That's like 2004.
That album could, that song could
That was
drink.
about
2004. That album.
That song could
That
pour.
song.
Shit.
That nigga's wild.
Yo, that shit could be. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Sip a little
Sharing
bit of
this drink with me
Migos.
right now, bro. It's 21 years ago. That's a
Little
long
bit of the
time.
Migos.
That's a long time. So I don't know how they came up with the notion that we would have new Big L material in 2025. That's crazy to me. You know what I mean? Shouts to Mase. We don't want Big L duets, bro.
Big L duets.
I'm sorry. I took
Jagged
your ball.
Edge featuring
That was-
You don't want the
Yeah.
Nasty Girl remix?
that was Mace's ball in the chat. I had
You
to-
don't want the Stretch and Bobito remix on
I
the
steal that.
Jazzy Faye beat?
Digging in the crates remix,
Big L
bro.
featuring Bryson Tiller.
Tory Lanez.
You don't want
Big
that?
L and Sexy
It's been a long
Red.
time. And here's the thing, and I'll end it here. It does, because I see people getting excited just because they see the names. You know what I mean? And that bothers me because it's like, all right, get past the names for a second. Big L in 2025, like, be fucking for real.
Be fucking.
Where's the material? What are these verses that you think are gonna wind up on this project, right? And either they're gonna be rehashed verses that we've already heard, right? Or they're gonna be new verses. But if there were new verses, wouldn't we have heard them by now?
Somebody would have put him out.
So be for real. Like, Big L, a new Big L record in 2025 sounds crazy to me. You know what I mean? So just, I mean, have some, you know what I mean? Some
Some
Walt
respect.
agrees.
some respect, common sense.
Walt
Decent.
agrees.
You know what I mean?
man.
Some critical thinking, something. Sheesh, man.
Hey, I
All right,
mean,
I'm done.
fellas, y'all got any more to add to that?
Nah, Sin was cooking with that one,
Yeah,
man. Like,
It just,
dang, what you got?
I just feel like, who would the Slick Rick album be for? You know what I'm saying? Like, I figure you putting out music for your demographic. Is there a slew of 50 and 60-year-old niggas like, we need that new Slicky Rick? I don't know.
That
But I
man
feel
is
like
60.
if you're gonna do that,
Who's
you're,
Slicky Rick?
you're gonna have to reformat your music. You get what?
Slicky.
You're gonna have to reformat your tunes.
And I'm sorry, I did say I was gonna, wrap it up.
Oh, he's back.
But the other thing that bothers me is just, you know what I mean? Let people rest in peace. For real.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I dig that,
Come on.
man. But as far as this, like a Slick Rick or a Ghost Again or a Ray, like, is that for the niggas that's like 45, or are they trying to tap into a new audience? I'm saying if they're trying to reformat the music and just drop maybe like a 30-minute long project just to get the streets back in tune, maybe something like that'll work. But if you're trying to feed the 50-year-old niggas, that's just not gonna be it. The 50-year-old niggas just don't care enough as a mass unit to even like take that type of music in. You get what I'm saying? I don't think most 50-year-old niggas like coming home from work like, yo, let's see what Ghost got for us today. I just don't think so. I think niggas got kids, lives, they doing a whole bunch of extra shit.
They
Like,
throwing in that regular Supreme clientele. They're not.
you see what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, so I don't know. I guess my pushback to that would be for some of these artists, maybe not all of them. For some of them, it's like if they still feel like they got it in them, you know what I mean, let them live, let them.
And conversely, where's the 25-year-old niggas that's like, I needed that new Ghost? I just don't know who the music will be for. You get what I'm
For
saying?
themselves, they just want to make it.
That's cool, and that's cool.
And now at this point, we're like pretending that this list is real, which is not. So, but if I'm saying if Ghostface does have a project in the works, a Supreme Clientele too, I'm a little worried about the sequels
name,
and stuff.
Yeah,
but like
that was not smart. The Supreme Clientele.
yeah, because Muddy Waters too.
the Supreme Clientele was
Anyway,
amazing.
if Raekwon is working on something, these are people that gave us greatness once upon a time.
Yeah.
They might be able to recapture it. We don't know. They haven't done it in a while, but that doesn't mean it's impossible
It's
to
not
do.
impossible. I just think it's how it's formatted. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to give us, like, we're from the era where albums were like an hour and 15 minutes plus. If you're trying to give an hour and 15 minutes plus album in 2025, like, it shit might not work
I'll say this.
for most artists.
Mass Appeal is known for quality.
No
I'll
question.
give them that credit. I don't know if Mass Appeal, this is Nas, this is Boldy, this is Davies when we like them. You know what I'm saying?
I fuck with you, Dave.
Yo, when you like it. Don't put that on us.
I used to
Throw
work
us
in a
under the
warehouse
bus.
back in
Damn.
the day. But it's,
Love it. It's one of my favorite albums.
Facts.
It's hard to believe, like the guys said. You know what I mean? So I want to give Mass Appeal credit. I want to give Nas credit. I want to, you know what I mean? I want to get hyped for this, but it's just hard to believe.
Well, why are you getting hype? It's fake news. What you getting hype for? Nas Misinformation said that this list is not accurate.
But what about the list is not accurate?
The releases.
You know what I mean? That's the
there
thing.
you go.
I do think that all that
Maybe
this
not
is
the
happening.
whole list. Maybe not the whole list.
I'm taking Big L off that list.
Big L is off.
Slick
this
Rick
list.
got to
Rick
come
is
off
off
that
that
too. Yeah.
list.
Slick
I
Rick
don't
is
even
gone
see the
too.
point.
And it could be re-releases, right? Because if I'm correct, weren't like the dates that were named for the artists like equivalent to like classic albums that they've dropped in the past? Wasn't there
Oh,
some
so you
type
think
of
it's
like,
like
like that?
like anniversary?
Might be a re-release, might be a
I don't
remaster.
think they rolled
you know?
out
Remastered.
the
But why you gotta
promo
speak on it,
7
though?
iconic artists for re-releases.
You don't
feel
got,
me?
yeah, don't make sense.
That's new music talk. You know what I'm saying?
That Big L gotta be a re-release.
I don't think Big L exists at all in that regard. I think that was a lie. In fact,
But what's the
25-year anniversary of
when did the Big Picture come out?
2020. I mean,
No, no,
2000.
2000. But what
25
date?
I want to say it was
Anniversary,
February, but let me just triple
I
check.
feel
This is
like
bad pod,
I-
so somebody start talking.
I
and filling
remember
the
if I
time while
remember
somebody searches.
if I take the time machine back to 2000, by April I had heard the Big Picture already. I feel like
What was the first single off of that again?
probably Size 'Em Up or Ebonics had come out, but then they did a remix for the Big
August.
Picture.
Shit, I'm bugging. August 20.
It was
2000.
August.
Yeah.
so the tweet from Nas Info
Oh,
says,
shit.
"Spot the things that are not correct with this post. Special prize for the winner that can find all the faults." On this list was Slick Rick, Victory, April 18th. We know that's not happening. April 18th? That's this week.
Yeah, literally.
Not happening. Raekwon, The Emperor's New Clothes, May 16th. I'm on the fence about that.
Possible.
Possible. Supreme Clientele 2? No. I'm putting that.
I don't
flat
see
out
that at
saying
all.
no. Mobb Deep Infinite?
Possible.
I think that's possible.
I've seen
very
I think that's
possible.
happening.
Big L to
time.
be decided. That don't
I
sound
don't
like a
think so.
25-year anniversary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. Nas and DJ Premier, we know what's happening. De La Soul's happening.
Well, you got two out of 3.
Well, yeah,
I can see it. They ain't put out no music in a while as a
possibly. I feel like there's been a lot of talk about the grind date. I feel like it's been like 20 years since the grind date. Maybe.
This
I don't know.
it's been a while.
It might be an anniversary joint too.
So
this is
the tweet said 7 new albums.
New.
7 iconic acts coming soon.
maybe the new album.
The grind date was October 04. So if they were celebrating 20
21.
years, it would have happened already.
New album. It's
Yeah.
clear.
20.
This is new music.
So yeah, I don't know.
Questions that need answers. Nas Info.
All right,
Here's to the DM.
but let's do this then. Out of this list, if it were happening, which are the ones that we would be excited for, besides not Nas and Primo?
The Mobb Deep. I'm definitely going to be excited.
Shut up, man.
Definitely be excited for the Mobb Deep.
This motherfucker.
Alchemist on it and Havoc still makes a great beat.
I said beside Nas and Primo for them, not you, man.
Yo.
Like
I don't know if niggas is ready for that Slick Rick though.
I'm not.
Oh,
Keep that.
Legacy
I
X.
don't
How-
want
how-
to do that. I don't
how-
want a lot of
how
your
many drinks
Dottie.
did I have?
Keep that. You know what
I'm not
saying?
excited for none of them other than Nas and Primo.
or a Dottie.
I would listen to the
Jesus
Ray.
Christ.
You would
Disrespect,
listen,
man.
but are you excited? He asked if he was excited.
Um,
I'm not excited for none of this beyond Nas and Primo.
nah, I'm a little excited for the Mobb Deep joint because I want to know if they're gonna get like old verses from P. They're gonna take like
I
verses
think that
unreleased.
I feel like there's some old P verses.
Yeah,
Still
especially
hanging around.
between Alchemist and
Yeah.
Half, they gotta be.
Yeah. And if Alchemist is involved and Nas is involved,
Yeah,
that's
Good.
enough for
It's a good
me
feeling. It's a good start.
to perk my ears up.
Good start.
I would if De La Soul was dropping something new, I would want to hear what they're doing. And maybe Ghostface, just to maybe redeem himself from the joint he put out last
If
year,
it wasn't
which I
called
was not
Supreme
feeling.
Clientele 2, I might be more interested. But the fact it's called Supreme Clientele 2 is fucking me up. I ain't gonna hold you.
Maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, look. This list is shaky. Nas Info herself.
come through and just keep it a beat.
Nas Info herself said it's shaky. And who would know better than her?
Right.
That's a fact.
Right.
Shout out to
You know what I
Nas
mean?
Info.
Shout out to Nas
Salute to
Info.
you.
She know. Moving on. So
Take me off that list. So
Facts. You know what I mean?
Block niggas.
yeah, damn.
You're gonna have to holla at Coop.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Get the Cyclops and Ryu handshake. You know what I mean?
Marvel versus Street Fighter.
Put the shit to bed. What's the free? Probably forgot she had niggas blocked. No funny shit.
Right.
Yeah,
perhaps.
probably.
You know what I mean? But in the midst of this announcement, it got us to thinking about, you know, rap and releases. We won't spend too much time on this because we don't want to offend sensibilities too crazy.
Right.
But like the question is, when it comes to some of these artists, how old is too old? Is there an expiration date for some of these acts? Is there a regression too far to where do we need a new album from said artists? You know, Ghostface is out here doing On the Radar freestyles and he's getting outdone by Capadonna. You know, it sounded a little shaky.
Oof,
Not
that's
Capadonna blacked on that on the radar.
Right, he
freestyle,
black.
man.
that's quite a take, John.
Blacked.
That's a take.
Yeah, you know, Capadonna cleared.
Yeah.
He cleared Ghostface
He did.
with their respective freestyles.
Cap did his thing.
The wine in
He
hand.
went viral. He went so viral that shit keeps coming back on
Yeah.
different people's pages going viral. That's how viral
It was
is.
fire.
That's true.
I was really impressed.
Ghostface had niggas with the glitter mask on and the bars was not landing.
Yeah, I don't understand the glitter mask.
Yeah.
Like for a second, I was like, I thought he was going back to that that R&B album that he put the
Oh yeah.
the Wizard of Theodore.
The
whatever.
Ghost, the Ghost Dini, the story of Ghost Dini, some shit.
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, what's up with these
Walt cracking
green
up
masks,
on screen,
man?
bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, the thought of this shit got Walt cracking up.
Me
nigga.
too, man. I love Ghost, but like
Sound like me in Euphoria
that
right
last
now.
Ghost
Voice
album.
getting
heavy on the unk, man.
Yeah,
Like
it might be time.
heavy on
But
the unk.
the reason I don't want to do that to them, because I feel like we don't do that to nobody else, man. These
Thank
motherfucking
you.
country acts come out 90 years old.
Talk.
Time out.
Talk.
See,
We don't listen to country.
No.
We don't-
Thank you, Mace.
Okay.
Thank you, Mace. You don't say we, because we don't listen to country.
We
We don't
don't.
know what the country fans are saying about Garth Brooks, man.
But they be at the shows. They support. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like
It's nostalgia. They ain't at the show for the new shit.
So I want to lend nostalgia to the old heads too. You know what I'm saying?
But nostalgia ain't new bars.
I just hope the music is good.
Nah. At a certain point, we gotta understand that
It's quiet.
you could get bread off your old shit, but the new shit don't slap no more. Like when you saw the Slick Rick on that list that ended up being fake,
I felt very uncomfortable.
You was hyped.
I was very uncomfortable.
You wanted to hear Lottie Dottie.
Be like the party. I didn't know what I was going to get. I'm like, how's
You
the
want to
breath
hear Slick
control at
Rick in
60 something?
2025?
I don't want to hear new music from Slick Rick at 2020. I don't. But I'm like,
I was
but I
in
don't
the
want to
box.
tell him that he
We're getting
can't
the
put out new
ops.
music.
Don't do that.
Go
Don't
to
do
the
that.
store.
Don't do that,
The
bro.
week on the shop.
Don't
That's
do
what
that
you
to
want to
Slick.
hear.
Don't do that,
Don't
Slick
do
Rick.
that. Mona Lisa, I'm always
Yo,
Y'all just
listen,
call Slick
hold on,
Rick
hold on.
the original
No,
bloke
I gotta step
bars,
in.
bro.
Don't do that.
What if he's
Because-
going to want to buy Shorty a slice?
Bro,
I'll buy
listen.
that slice for you. I don't know.
Listen, Slick, when I tell you children's story and Mona Lisa still sounds
slaps.
fresh
It's a
and
ringtone
new
for me.
today.
It's a ringtone.
It's all because of you.
No, because look, I gotta say something
Shit's
because we give.
Do you want to hear that in 2025?
No, I'm just saying we give. I'm gonna let y'all simmer down. I'm gonna let y'all simmer down.
Oh, shit.
But we give Rakim all of the flowers, all of the credit for turning rap music on its ear and ushering in a new era of lyricism.
Yes.
Around the same time, Slick Rick, before Rakim, we had Slick Rick. And the way that Slick Rick, his cadence, his delivery, his storytelling, like it was so fresh and new and innovative. Like we listen to Children's Story and Mona Lisa today, and it still sounds like nobody else would be able to do that in 2025.
Today.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let's not disrespect the God,
We not though.
Big facts. Shout
Let's
to
not
Magic
disrespect
and
the
Bird, man.
Facts.
the God. You know what I mean? So like he did
Dr.
did
J
his
was
job.
fly.
So
He did
we
his
gotta
job.
respect new shit.
No, I'm just saying we haven't
Deserves a
heard
chance, deserves a chance.
we haven't heard anything from Slick Rick in quite a while.
You can't see me.
That Jail Slick Rick
tan
album
like
was the
Sin's
worst
Beanie.
jail album of
I'm
any
tan
jail
like
rapper.
Sin's Beanie. Where are we going with this? Holy shit.
Here's my
Awfully
take.
nice of you.
Oh my
Here's my take. I don't think we should put an age limit on anyone. I think we should we should speak honestly and truthfully about whatever it is that they put out and they deliver, and how
make beats.
holla at me.
What are we doing?
And whatever they put out.
Between that and Dean calling him Slicky Rick, we're gonna get like our hip hop cloth
MC
revoked,
Ricky
bro.
D, man.
Oh
MC
my God,
Ricky
bro.
D.
We cooked out here, man.
Whatever they deliver, their level of execution is. I'm trying to have a serious conversation here. Yeah,
Read the room, bro.
Yo, chill up.
All right, man, that's it. Cook. I'm moving my microwave.
I'm dying right now,
right,
bro.
right, right.
Chill.
Niggas, man.
Yo.
here's my thing. Whatever age an artist is, right? If they still feel that creative energy, go with it.
For sure.
Whatever it is that they put out there and deliver to the world, sure, we can speak on it truthfully and honestly. We'll give our takes. We'll say, did they execute? Did they not? Is it fire? Is it mid? We could do that, right? But what I don't want to do is place a limit on or an age cap on artists, because if I would have done that with one of my we just talked last episode. My take didn't go quite as viral, but Common is one of my top 5 MCs of all time. I think he's top 5 when it's all said and done and considered. But he
saw you ignored my comment message in the group chat too.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But if I'm being honest, he delivered like 10 to 15 years of straight mid throughout the 2010s. You know what I mean? Straight mid, borderline trash for a couple of those projects. I could have very easily said,
Glad he's terrible
too.
Well, we're not. I mean, with this, it's not the film round table. It's the rap round table. So, but yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. So I could have very easily said, "Yo, Con, like you're one of my favorite MCs. You know what I mean? You delivered classics, had joints with Dilla. You know what I mean? Like you did Kanye, B, Final Forever. Hang it. Like you done your thing. Hang it up. It's time to move on. You're doing your acting thing. You got the SAG card. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Bad John Wick roles.
Just focus on that.
I mean, that was his best acting because he didn't have to act much. Shit.
Smoking aces.
But lo and behold, in the year of the Lord 2024, he links up with Pete Rock. Yeah. And he delivers
some dope shit.
One of the best albums I heard from him, from either one of them, in the longest time. So it's like you never know. You never know when an artist can capture lightning in a bottle.
Nas,
his height was much higher lyrically than
Than who?
Slicky Rick.
I don't want to say it.
Say it again.
I didn't want to say it.
Ricky D. MC Ricky D.
Don't do
Common had more bars than Rick.
Yes.
As overall,
don't do that.
It's a different time,
Yes,
but
he
yes, he did.
Absolutely.
All right.
Not taking anything against
all right.
from
all right.
You know what I'm saying? But
true.
Yeah.
But like,
ain't nobody old enough to call you out in the chat.
Right.
No.
We got homie from Chicago who's in his 60s.
I'm just saying, don't.
He gonna get you.
Do not put an age cap on anybody, on any artist.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
As long as it's fire, it's fire.
Now he right. I just feel like this. If there's a clear regression, like a clear regression, coming back outside,
slow motion.
Just live on your legacy. Yeah, you could tour off your old shit forever. That's all I'm saying. If it's a clear regression, like to me, Slick Rick don't gotta drop no new music because he's Slick fucking Rick.
Yeah, right.
His old shit, he could. You know what I mean? Look at Hip Hop 50 when he got on that stage for Hip Hop 50. Before Dougie Fresh decided to beatbox for wow long for whatever the fuck reason.
Half an hour straight.
He had the crowd. Slick had the crowd at Yankee Stadium.
Facts.
But the new shit can kind of put a damper on the old shit.
People might hate me, but like that was definitely pre-recorded, bro. Like
Dougie was doing
that Dougie Fresh shit was
man.
That shit was definitely pre-recorded. There's no way he was doing that live.
Dougie
Absolutely
Vanilli?
Not.
What the fuck? Shit.
Absolutely not.
Dougie Vanilli. Philly's
But
crazy.
what I'm saying is he's scared. Yo, didn't niggas start leaving during that shit?
Nah, niggas was broke. Yo, it was.
Yeah,
Nah,
niggas started walking.
I'm not guessing that. Right?
No. They tuned out. They tuned
Niggas
out.
got up
leave, bro.
30 minutes.
midway through that beatbox. Niggas got
I'm
up and
like,
walked
yo.
out, man.
Like,
I'm just saying, Slick
it's
don't
time to
need
get
a new
a
album.
hot dog or something.
Raekwon is somewhere. Hey, Raekwon is somewhere. You know what I mean?
not the glizzy break, bro.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh shit.
Raekwon to me, after what I heard on that freestyle and that last album, I'm like, Ray, you might just want to do your old shit. He give to me, Raekwon.
Ray or Ghost?
Ghost, part of something. Ghost has one more album. If the next album he still sounds like he's old and unk, because he's starting to look. No, hear me out. I'm being dead ass now. No more joke shit. Because Sid and I talked about it. His voice is starting to go. He's starting to sound like unk. He's starting to lose that Ghost Dini vocal ability. You know what I'm saying?
Presence.
And it's like if you lose that,
And that's his thing.
Yeah.
that's his thing,
Right.
along with his world building and his storytelling. So it's like if you start sounding wild, old, and your breathing is a little off now because I mean, come on, it's a natural progression. You get older. What the fuck? It is what it is. Then maybe not damage the legacy by continuing forward. Start performing your old shit. Do a greatest hits, or do a little feature run where you don't have to carry a whole album. You just popping on nigga shit. You know what I mean? Shit like that. That's all I'm saying. Because I feel like the internet has a way where it likes to retell your legacy, and it retells your legacy by way of holding on to your recent shit and acting like your old shit didn't happen. And if you keep putting out new shit that don't land, they'll reshape your legacy by way of saying your last 2-3 albums didn't do what it was supposed to do. So I'm like, for the greater good is maybe if it's not hitting how it's supposed to hit, don't let niggas tell your story for you by leaning on your new shit. That's all I'm saying.
Especially somebody like Ghost, who's renowned for his discography.
Right.
It's probably conditioning with 2019.
That is one of the other points that I did have that I didn't mention earlier. But if you still have that creative energy in you, go with it. But go into it understanding that you might be hindering is not the right word, but like you might be chipping into your legacy. You know what I mean? You might chip away at it by putting out continual mid.
In case in point, not even to try to be funny, but it's like
That was hilarious.
think about how niggas this really happened. Post the Kanye album. Think about how niggas was treating King's Disease 1. There was some trepidation coming off of the Ye album. Granted, it wasn't Nas's fault, but nevertheless, he hadn't landed like a quote classic in a bit. I mean, I know the hardcore Nas fans disagree, but as far as like the general rap fans, he hadn't landed a classic in a minute. So then the Ye album didn't land. So it was like, what is Hit Boy, King's Disease 1? I always remember us listening to that album, pre-Mase era with Lang, how pleasantly surprised we were.
Mm-hmm.
How fire KD1 was. But at that point in time, Nas was running into that era where is he going to become a nostalgia act who's falling off? Or does he still have it? The KD series was an exclamation point. Of course I have it. I just need to be in the right environment.
Right.
And I'm looking at Ghost the same way where it's like, niggas the whispers are starting to say the quiet part loud. Do you want to keep this going? You got one more. To me, he has one more album. This album, whatever it is, whether it's Mass Appeal or some other shit, if it don't land, niggas gonna start being very disrespectful about Ghostface. And that's just the natural progression. Disrespect comes at the end. You know what I mean?
I think niggas need to reformat, man. Maybe it's not gonna be the classic Ghost we had, but maybe connect with a younger producer. Maybe try to like create a new spark. Maybe you're not gonna be able to give us the nutmeg like you did before, but try to do something smooth. I say keep it between 40 minutes or below.
Your vocals, bro, and you losing your tool. It don't matter what a producer does, bro.
Well, they probably could do something like what they did with Beans, where they just probably splash the voice up a little bit.
A little AI,
you know
what I mean?
Something like that.
Possibly.
I see the vision. Again, chat.
But I'm just saying, like, it's not quite as severe with Ghostface. Like,
yeah.
I don't even see Ghostface like feeling all right with doing
it.
Like
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just hope the music.
Because you got to think about it too. This is me being dead serious. It's like you could tell niggas is concerned about age because like Ghost be rocking that black dye now.
Yeah.
So it's like he's on the other side.
That Beijing be Beijing.
All of that shit. All that shit starts to add up, and it's like, do you want to sound like Uncle? Do you want to be remembered for being one of the GOATs? You know, niggas like to play. I use basketball reference. We haven't done it all episode, but I'll do it now. Niggas play with Kobe at the end. Post Achilles Kobe, how they was talking bad about that nigga. Nigga popped his Achilles. But they tried to make it seem as though his end was what he was. Then you had niggas had to start spawning podcasts to tell stories about how good this nigga was to remind niggas.
Right.
Where would we be without all the smokes and the knuckleheads to remind niggas how the nigga with the afro was the most dangerous nigga alive at certain points? You know what I'm saying? Or the nigga dropping 81 and shit like that. Because they was trying to make it seem as like he was an old gunner who didn't pass the ball and he played until his body broke down. That was not his story. But the way you leave is how niggas want to try to remember you.
That's a fact.
Recency bias is a thing.
Niggas don't do the research.
They don't care to. Everything recency bias. Everything is recency bias now. Fuck with the facts. So I mean, it's up to us as the Rap Roundtable and other platforms to remind niggas, but we can't control the masses until we become big enough to control them.
I mean, that's social media. Recency is all that matters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hands down.
Last month.
Yesterday.
Max.
Yesterday.
Like
earlier today.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? That's the game. But we gotta move on. That was a great topic. You know, we hope y'all enjoyed that. I had fun laughing at Sin for a bit. You know, hell of a time. But we gotta move on. The next topic I have for y'all is favorite underplayed music video. This is a topical portion of the Rap Roundtable, much like we did Unpopular Opinion. And be clear, Unpopular Opinion is going to become a staple of the Rap Roundtable, considering how viral Mase went, movie, and considering even the post that didn't go viral did super well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact that it's a conversation starter without being disrespectful to people's sensibilities, we like that because the thing is, people like to pretend that they all agree with popular sentiment. We all have opinions that doesn't agree with the opposite side. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why not make that a segment? So once a month, the unpopular opinions in studio segments will be a thing. Sorry, you know, but for this one, it's about favorite underplayed music videos. So I came up with this idea. I was thinking about it because it's like when I was younger, I didn't have cable. I didn't have cable until I was like fucking maybe 12, I think it was. So I was watching a lot of free TV. You know what I mean? Shout out Channel 54 for my New Yorkers. Flavor Video.
Classic.
Video Music Boxes on Channel 31. If you know, you know. And it was like certain songs were popping, but their videos wouldn't always get the rotation play as other popular songs. Kind of like radio. Certain songs get more spins than others. Especially request shit when niggas call in and request videos. It is what it is. So it got me to thinking, I was like, did my guys have the same experience that I have? Where it was like there were certain videos that didn't get played as much, but we loved those songs? Did the chat have certain videos that didn't get played as much, but they loved those songs? So let's have a build in the chat. We had the chaotic conversation. Now let's build. So I'm gonna come to Dini first with this one, because Dini was very curious about it off the air. Like, can we have multiples? So the whole concept is you can have your main one, you can have an honorable mention. So Dini, what was a video in young Dini? 10, 11, 12-year-old Dini loves rap.
Oh, 10. Mine's is more in my teens.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's talk about it.
I got a couple. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 by Method Man.
Oh, 4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2.
Yeah.
It was 4, 3, 2.
It was just 4.
4, 3, 2, 1 with Meth, Red, Cannabis, DMX, Master P. I'm talking about the remix, the real deal joint. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking mummy outfit.
Yeah. There you go. Cannabis dresses the football
player. Wait. Master P was in the video? Master P was in the video?
He was in the video? DMX was definitely in the video.
X was in the video.
Remix. I remember Master P.
That's how rare the video
I wouldn't have heard the
bro.
Master P song.
So no, wait. I think you're right. Because they did the remix, and then they I think they shot a whole separate scene for Master P. Spliced it in there along with the rest of the
You're right. Remember those days?
They didn't. First of all, that song is like fucking amazing. You know?
Yeah, it is.
And the features and just the way it was built and just how powerful each person. Niggas said I'm beating niggas to death and beating dead niggas to life, bro. Like I was like lost when I heard that as a kid. And if
Shouts
I have
to Cannabis,
it was one of them ones when it was that time. LL, maybe one of the strongest LL verses we ever heard ever. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Took Cannabis to do that. So to Cannabis.
Matt had a great verse, Red. But another one, low key. Probably seen the video on TV maybe twice, bro. the original Back at You from Sunset Park.
Ooh.
Oh,
Mobb
shit.
Deep.
Oh,
That's a good one.
That'll probably be
That's
the
a-
two that I
that's
just
a good
could
deep
barely
cut.
ever could find them shits on TV when I was watching TV. This before you could select. You know what I'm saying? You just had to watch what they gave.
Nah, you know what's crazy about that? I'm gonna go with your second take, your second pick, because I didn't even realize there was a video for that song until like social media. You know what I mean? Like I remember the song from the soundtrack. I don't remember that video ever playing anywhere. And then social media came around and people started sharing that video. I'm like, yo, there was a video for this?
Yeah, man.
That's
Sin was
crazy.
outside by then, man.
Yeah.
He was on the block.
Classics, just classic records, classic moments.
I seen the crime statistics in the 90s in Harlem.
I was
Sin.
different.
Nigga, you, bro, but you was in the Ville. We was in the middle of
In the
everything. You was
midst of
younger
the
though.
scuffle.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of everything. Pardon self. You know what I mean?
Java was with M.O.P. wilding the fuck out.
Nigga.
Brownsville, home of the
The shit I
brave.
seen growing
Watching
up in
Power
Garvey,
Rangers.
bro. Funny times.
You feel me?
You had your honorable mention.
That was my two.
Okay.
That was
Like
good
everything
one,
else,
man.
I pretty much could find. It probably would have been Bone Thugs, fucking, but that shit was played all day. Miss My Uncle Charles.
Right. Nah,
Yeah.
that shit was on BT heavy.
Heavy.
I had cable by then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Crossroads.
Mesito, talk to me.
Good picks, D.
Appreciate
Mine, you know, I'm a little bit younger than the fella, so mine are more 2000s era.
Mason had cable.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, did. But my first pick was the song that made me decide this guy's gonna be my favorite rapper. That's Neck of the Woods by Wayne and Birdman.
Wow. Throwback.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Finger on a trigger.
Well, you think that's a throwback? Yeah.
hardest records.
Wait till it's my turn. It's,
Shit.
Hard
Neck of the
record.
Woods.
Neck of the Woods.
But
That was a Rap City special. If you had to watch Rap City to watch it, wasn't on 106, wasn't on MTV Hits, wasn't on no Countdown Records, it wasn't nothing.
Can we just pivot for 1 second?
Just what?
Just 1 second. Shout out Manny Fresh.
Yeah.
Shout
Yeah.
Manny
My
Fresh.
God.
Great
And
moments.
he has so many beats like that that are not even like massive hits, but if you just listen to the instrumentals, dynamic as fuck, bro.
Created a whole sound, bro.
Bro.
Dynamic, bro. So yeah, Neck of the Woods, one of Wayne's best verses ever. Me, I never had that association with Wayne with the Cash Money crew like my guys do. So I didn't have the Wayne wobbly. It almost was like this is a new rapper, like some sort of New York Southern hybrid. He had on Bape. He was rapping like a New York dude, but they was in the South when the trenches in the video. It blew me away as a youngster. And really one of my favorite videos that like I said, you only saw it on Rap City. This wasn't even a Big Tigger era. It was some rando hosting at this point. But
that was a nasty era, bro.
Nasty era.
I think Free and AJ had left 106 by then too. It was a weird time on BET.
Weird. That's when BET was done. But yeah, Neck of the Woods for sure, man. Super classic record. Go check that out if you haven't. But another one, because of my original, like my origin, I always say when I was a young kid, Eminem was my favorite rapper. Like he was the zany, crazy white guy. Like he, you know what I mean? He had videos where he was dropping them on his head. You know what I'm saying? He had weird background music. So as like a 7, 8, 9-year-old, I was like an Eminem fan. So a lot of the way I discovered acts was through
7, 8, 9
Eminem.
is
You know what I
crazy.
mean? Discovered the Outsiders. Discovered, you know, obviously Dre and Forgot About Dre as a kid. That was like the shit you was hiding from your mom. You didn't want to listen to. So I was super invested in things that were coming out of that camp as like a kid. So for me, Royce the 5'9", boom. That was a song that like seemed that would like you kind of heard the beat sometimes and then you kind of heard the preview sometimes.
Yeah.
But I was just like, yo, who's this dude that's just as nice as Eminem? You know what I'm saying? And I could never really hear the record as a kid. You know what I mean? Like you know, it took me a little while longer to be able to have access to it because I'm like 10 years old at this time. But I just remember like being like obsessed with that record as a kid. The takes on the fucking beat, you know what I mean? I didn't even know who fucking Primo was at the time. You know what I mean? So that's another one for me. Boom. Royce the 5'9".
Nah, that Neck of the Woods is a hell of a pick.
That is.
Because you know what? People don't understand how important those records were to Wayne's ascent.
Yeah.
Of course, you had the Dipset run.
Yeah.
with like the Neck of the Woods, it was Neck of the Woods, but the bigger record with that was Stunt Like My Daddy.
Yeah.
That era right there where he was just coming on and just moshing shit, and it was just like, this, who is this Wayne? And again, I'm of the wobbly era. So when I'm hearing a rhyme like this, and it's like he's clearly like tapping into like a little Hove aesthetic, I'm like, this nigga is wildin'. Then Manny Fresh with this beat, and he just found a way to encapsulate New Orleans in a way that just no other producer to this day has done that shit. Where it's like he's building beats for niggas who really spit, but it's still very much New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's even like my favorite Manny Fresh beat is Number One Stunning. It's like people think that beat is mad simple, but when you play the instrumental, it's so much. He has ways of building beats that has so much going on.
Yeah.
And it don't sound like it until you take the lyrics over. Oh, this nigga's amazing at building beats. And it'd be like 4, 5, 6 layers of shit going on.
Like Everybody Get Your Roll On was another one.
Oh
like
my God.
Yeah,
this
crazy.
nigga was amazing. Like we have all the producer conversation. I think we had our producer conversation years ago.
Yeah.
But like Manny Fresh needs to be respected much more so. And he might have to come back outside to get his respect. But that was a great that Neck of the
That
Woods.
was my shit, boy.
Man.
That was a classic.
Sit and listen to Neck of the Woods.
I did not. No.
What are your
It's
picks?
completely foreign.
They play that on your phone out loud when we listen.
All right. So, as being the resident old head, like clearly, I'm definitely gonna age myself here. I'm gonna go definitely
okay.
a little bit older. Actually, no. My first pick is actually from 1999. So not 30 years ago, like 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So at this point, 1999, Wu-Tang had already, made their impact. They put their stamp on the game. But by 99, 2 years removed from Wu-Tang Forever, Rough Riders were coming into the game. No Limit, Cash Money. It was a new era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Wu-Tang was not quite as hot or as lucrative as they once were, especially after the whole debacle with Hot 97 and all that. So there weren't that many like Wu-Tang videos being played on the video shows, right? Especially not obscure. Like if it was Wu-Tang, like if it was the whole Wu or like the stars from the like Method Man, like there was definitely Method Man videos being played all the time still. You know what I mean? Ghost or Ray or somebody like that. But RZA, wasn't that many RZA songs that would be played, because like he wasn't a star. He was the backbone of the group, but he wasn't like the face, the star. You know what I mean? But RZA had this song called Tragedy. And when I tell you that video for Tragedy is pure cinema, but it would never get played because it was like, it would have to be like on like the, deep into the second or third hour of like Rhapsody. I don't remember how long Rhapsody was, like 2 hours. 2 hours. Yeah, it would have to be deep into the second hour of Rhapsody. You know what I mean? To try to catch it. RZA was not he was not a star, like he was not like a pop star or anything like that, or anything close. And it was kind of an obscure song because it wasn't on like a main Wu-Tang album. It was like on some Wu Chronicles compilation album.
Right after,
you know what I mean?
Digital.
Right. But when I tell you that fucking video, like the whole Wu-Tang kung fu aesthetic that they had played, that they had used throughout all of their music, like it was all baked into and personified into this one video. And the way that they did it, like it didn't come off corny, it didn't come off like rehashed, it didn't come off like, it came off like RZA was really trying to make like a little 4-minute kung fu film out of his video. Yes, Wall is playing it in the cut over there. He's got it on his phone. When I tell you, if you've never seen this video,
I haven't seen this video in a minute.
If you've never watched this video, please do yourself a favor, watch this video. This is pure cinema in 4 minutes. It's like a film. in music video form. They have a fucking fight in midair at the end. It's you know what I mean? It's crazy. Like they deliver like they don't actually show it, but like RZA wins the fight, and not to spoil it, but I guess I'm spoiling it. RZA wins the fight, and they show like the scene where like obviously his foe's head is delivered in a box to his woman. Like the video is just insane. It's crazy. It's like
I haven't seen that video in
bro.
20 years, bro.
That you can see the way I'm talking about. Like this video is immaculate. Pure art in that video. Now to go completely to the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm gonna go back to 1991. I'm gonna go to 13-year-old Sin, and you can just imagine what 13-year-old Sin cared about at the time.
Pagina.
So again, aging myself. I don't know how many of you out there remember The Box.
Yeah.
Not music video box, but just The Box. A New York or I maybe tri-state, I think, but definitely New York cable channel where you literally called it. It was like it's supposed to be like a jukebox on cable. You called in, you put in the code for the video that you want to see,
and it wasn't toll free.
And it was not, absolutely not, right? And so I would not dare pick up that phone and call that number and have that charge on our phone bill. So I just sat on the couch and patiently waited for this one video to come on late at night, because it would always play late at night, right? My parents was asleep, you know what I mean? I would make sure.
I know where you're going with this, Sin.
There was no.
What's her name?
No. There was a few of them. There was a few of them.
You know what I'm talking about.
I would make sure my parents would sleep, you know what I mean? And I would patiently wait for this one 2 Live Crew video to come on. The song in the video was called
crazy,
Pop
bro.
That Coochie.
Yep.
And I mean, that's all that needs to be said. That was
Young Sin.
That was
with
my blanket,
and ices.
like my blanket very carefully placed.
Yep.
You know what I
Damn it, man.
mean? And yeah, that was, you know what I mean? That was porn before porn.
Yeah, man.
I mean, 2 Live Crew, Pop That Coochie, man. That's true. 13-year-old me was
Shout
like
out.
living
Shout
dangerously.
Shit.
Any little sound of shit.
Nah. Boo! Go to bed! Some Hank Hill type shit.
Or the fake sleep. Fake sleep.
You've been young again when you hear the first footstep, so you know to scramble, hit the TV off, and get your sleep
And that one
position.
creak.
Yeah.
No damn well, boy.
Oh man.
I'm dead.
To be young
And
again.
it would play often enough, but not often enough for me, man. I wanted to
Not enough.
24/7.
You didn't have that
Shit,
BET.
me.
What was that called? BET After Dark? What was the name?
BET
After
It was
Dark.
like, yo,
Yes.
way
With
before
that
Uncut.
Nelly.
Way
Tip
before Uncut.
drill,
That Nelly,
boy.
man.
BET Uncut, man. That got me
Swiping
too,
the
man.
credit card through the yams.
And that was an
Yo.
hour long.
That was pre-internet when I was
Charge it
all
to the
word of mouth.
game.
Niggas had to tell you that shit was coming on at 2
need a
a.m.
tip
every. You know what I mean?
I thought it was
need a
3.
tip drill.
It was 2.
It was 3 a.m. right?
3,
Yeah,
yeah.
late night, bro.
Yes,
3.
yes.
Shit, it was 3. God damn.
Yeah, man. I
thought it was
still
2.
remember.
Bro, my
I
parents
remember when it stopped coming on. I was
I would
like,
go.
upset.
Remember on the remote? Hold on, I'll let you cook real quick. Remember on the remote, you had the last channel button.
Yep.
So I would set it up between like 3 a.m. I set it up between BET
back.
and
Cartoon Network or some
Network.
shit.
No, wait.
Johnny Quest.
No,
and
I was living way more dangerously. Between BET and public access, because public access used to have the, you know what I mean, the
Whatever.
yeah, the whatever.
It was wilding out
I
here.
was
What?
just,
Nigga, Sin was
I was a wild
MacGyver,
boy.
bro.
It was a wild boy.
At least
man.
we had Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
at them hours, you had the Johnny Quest, or you had like Looney Tunes or something.
Right.
Seems
you know?
solid.
Tom
Bean,
and Jerry,
nigga.
you feel
Yeah.
me? You know what I'm saying? But
Oh,
my
man.
pick, the whole thing that spawned this for me was, again, you know, unlike these rich brothers, I didn't have cable until I was 12. So Flavor videos was my go-to every day.
Classic.
Shout out Bobby Simmons, as always. I don't know if he's alive or not, but shout out Bobby Simmons. You know what I mean? But, I was in my Wu bag. Love Wu-Tangs. And it was one video. The song was popular. It was a good street single. But I love the chaoticness of the video, and it's one of my favorite Wu songs of all time. But the video would not play. I used to fiend and hope after every song, like, with the video, because Bobby never used to announce what videos would come on next. He would only throw to the next video when he would leave his little blue room or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it was Brooklyn Zoo. Old Dirty Bastard.
Classic.
I love the beat. I love how ridiculous the video was. And I always felt in my heart of hearts, like, that song never got the due that it deserved. Like fucking shimmy shimmy y'all, shimmy yay, shimmy yay. That video rang off crazy.
Give me the bike before I take it away.
You know what I mean? Ooh, baby, I like it raw. And the shit was in slow motion the whole time. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
I love that video. But Brooklyn's, I used to fiend. When I tell you fiend, I hope that the next video we'll play would be. I used to get tight, like, say that Wu-Tang Clan and fuck would come on. I would get tight because I wanted to hear Brooklyn Zoo. So it was like I was watching some movie and some shit, and the white people love it. Sorry, the white people love that song. They love Brooklyn. They love the beat. And it was like, it got me to think. I was like, I remember when I was a kid, like, I used to hope that this video would come on, because no matter if you was watching Video Music Box, Flavor Videos, or whatever the fuck, they rarely play that video, bro. To this day, they rarely play that shit. And that was one of my, that's probably top 5 Wu-Tang songs of that era. Was like Brooklyn Zoo. Like, the shit was hard. Old Dirty was unorthodox as fuck. The video was completely ridiculous.
Crazy.
I'm like, this shit I don't know what he's doing. I loved Meth too. Meth was my favorite Wu member, but Old Dirty was like the antithesis of Meth. Man. It didn't make sense. He was not always in pocket, but it made sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A song.
So that's my pick. I'm like sending this in case. Pardon me. My other pick goes in a complete opposite direction. Take yourself back to 1997, 98, Bad Boy remix era. It was the Been Around the World remix video. It was so hard to find this fucking. And thing is, that's
the one in the desert, right?
Yeah.
And I was in a little blue room dancing and shit. I think Mason did. He had on white outfits.
No, the one in desert was Can't Nobody Hold Me Down.
There you go.
Right.
With Mace.
So it's like the Been Around the World remix. I wanted the few to probably like the remix more than the original. You know what I'm saying? And because I'm like, this shit is different.
Carl Thomas.
You had Carl Thomas. Don't
yeah.
That shit was hard.
Screaming in the back.
Yeah, it was hard. And Mace, to me, Mace vocals hit better on this beat than on the original Been Around the World. And I used to be like, yo, why don't play this fucking video more? The only time I used to see Been Around the World remixes on MTV2, early era MTV2, at like 1 a.m, my nigga. They never used to play this shit at regular rotation, bro. So like Been Around the World remix was that's my honorable mention, because I love that shit. That's one of the best Bad Boy remixes. Quiet as kept, one of the best remixes. Quick, another honorable mention I'm gonna throw it out there, because you know what I mean. The I Need a Girl who stayed with Bad Boy. Once the I Need a Girl remix went crazy, the version with Usher got thrown out the window. But the version with Usher is way better than the remix. Had Usher doing a little moonwalk with the heartbeat in the video and shit. I'm like, this nigga, this peak Usher too, mind you.
Yo.
Peak Usher. I'm talking about 8702, what was the shit? 8701.
Yeah.
That when he went that, and it was the other album that went back to
You
back.
don't have to call era.
Yo.
Crazy.
Come on, son. And they just do that away for the remix. And I hate the remix? That song annoys the fuck out of me. This is what shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Shut up. Usher's right there.
Who's that, Jack and Edge?
Nah, it was some random nigga. Mario Winans.
Mario Winans, yeah.
But anyway, we gotta move on.
I fuck with both.
That was a fun segment. Chat, as always, I haven't told you all episode. Hit that like button.
Do that.
Hit it.
400 likes on each and every video. Run those likes up.
Yes, sir.
Hit the subscribe option. Hit the notification bell. Stay tapped in and locked in with the Rap Roundtable. It's time for Masito's segment. What you got for us? We in the industry, we in the streets, we in the rap game. What we got?
Listen, y'all. We spent a lot of time last week kind of, lambasting a couple folks.
It's a good word.
Just a little bit. You know, they were called the Federal Five.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but you know what I didn't even get into, and what a lot of the modern viewers might not know is that we have our own wing of degeneracy here at the Rap Roundtable. And they are called the Chatty Boys, guys. It's Chatty Boys time. The return of the Chatty Boys is here. You know, that's three degenerates featuring Sin.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Sin, every now and then it gets too crazy. Sin gotta
Every
chime
once
in.
a while, Sin gotta
Sometimes
be a chatty boy.
Sin is a little chatty sometimes. You know what I mean? But we gotta get into it, man. Return of the Chatty Boys, we here. Let's start it off with, let's get chatty about these court cases, man. We got a little update in this Big U case. A lot of little things going on there. You know, because they all run their mouth so much. Because of Loose Cannon, we find out that Loose Cannon, Brick Baby, and Big U themselves were all involved in a prison brawl against another faction of folks. You know what I mean? Things is getting crazy over there. Not only that, you know, Brick Baby has had a couple new charges that have been introduced on this case that have folks thinking that he may be telling. Now, my whole thing is this. Aren't they all telling? You know what I mean? Aren't they all telling on podcasts, you know, that in fancy studios like this one? You know what I mean? It's hard for me to understand the concept of telling in 2025. I'm going to be honest with you. Does it mean in the courtroom?
You need a cop in the room.
Right. I guess so. And one that's not named Livingston. You know what I mean? Not that one.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Or Vladimir. Neither Livingston or Vladimir. Not those cops. You know what I mean? Listen, Dean, we must have been doing this a long time because, Dean, we got to get into Adam 22 because the only reason we know about this whole, you know, Brick Baby, Big U situation, this whole situation is because of Adam 22. But we got to get chatty about Adam because what recently came out is that Adam says that he's losing money, that he's losing the podcast.
The timing of that is strange.
Very strange, extremely strange. Hope the feds don't run those pockets strange. But according to Adam 22, he you know, the podcast isn't making any money. The studio has ran him about $4 million. He can no longer cover it.
What the fuck is happening in that studio that cost him 4 M's?
Listen, I don't know. Shootings, you know what I mean? Maybe shit they had to pay off folks for. You know what I mean? Who knows? You know, so Adam, you know, we should have known this. It's a table with 4 mics. We should have known, y'all, when this man was telling his wife that there was some money problems going on, though. I'm not even going to lie to you. We should have known then that No Jumper was going down.
Apparently, he said he tried to expand too big and too quickly.
Hey. We would have to ask
Wife said.
Mrs. Adam 22 for that one, right?
Jason Love. Yo. It's an evil world we living in. Shout out to Fuge.
Shouts to Mrs. 22. Didi says shout to Fuge. Let's shout out Scottie Pippen's wife if we're at it. Why not, man? Listen, man. It's getting crazy over here. Listen.
Shit.
I am deceased.
Considering what his wife had to deal with in that video.
Hey.
So only one part of the 22 households is expanding, as Didi is described. And it's not No Jumper, okay? So, you know,
Pump her, brother. You know what I mean?
Right. But you know, we this episode of jokes. But we can't talk about Adam 22 and him losing his podcast and him losing his money if we're not gonna address the elephant in the room or maybe the dead chickens in the barber shop. We gotta talk about Math Hoffa, man. We gotta talk about it.
Please.
This week, you know, I know a lot of people getting at him, a lot of people talking about it, but it seems as if Math Hoffa, my expert opinion, the podcast might be over.
Losing money.
Lost the barbershop.
Loss of money, loss of barbershop, loss of cast members. It's looking bad out here. Math Hoffa recently he's been doing more like live stream content. People wanted to know what's going on, so he went up there. He mentioned the fact that the podcast ain't going so well. He might have to end this, and it's some sort of weird situation where he was using a woman to rent out a space from a guy for the barbershop. And now that, now there's some $7,000 Con Ed bill and barbers that stole barber chairs.
Not the Con Ed, man. That's
Con Ed. The man was making millions off of his podcast, and now he's complaining about Con Ed bills. I don't know what's going on. All I do know is I rock with Heineken and SO. You know what I mean? Shouts to Champ.
Bigger.
Shouts to Bigger.
What about the nigga Mecca? No love for Mecca?
I thought Mecca might still be there with him.
And Mecca's like A&R over at Conglomerate. So Mecca gonna be good regardless. You know what I mean?
Let me bite my tongue.
Conglomerate, the busting with the good albums. And the good beats. So shouts to Math, but we gonna try to figure out what's going on. As we made our grounds in the pod space, it seemed like Drink Champs and Gilly and Wallow and Math was like the top 3 dogs. So that's somebody that, I kind of looked at as down the line, we was gonna end up having to cross paths. But it's like, damn, Math, you about to a little bit of this and you about to get rid of the podcast. Listen, Math, you can do the music and the pod at the same time, brother. Do not give up your IP. Do not give up, something that's so big in the culture. Classic interviews, Fat Joe, Tony Yayo, all type of shit. Math, get it together, bro.
Well, me and Sing crossed paths with Math. We bumped into him at a spot before. You know what I'm saying? We said what up, chopped it up for a little minute. Nothing too crazy.
Cool. Math a cool nigga.
Cool nigga, but it just seems like, it's too many fallouts, bro. Too many.
I'm not getting it.
It's that many fallouts. It's usually.
But it just seemed like a revolving door of cast members.
One thing in the podcast we've learned.
Champ left too.
At our level, our little 21 approach. Well, we had 21,000 now. Shout out to y'all at our 21,000 subscriber level. Is that people like consistency?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sin miss a pod. Where's Sin?
Facts.
Dini misses pod. Where's Dini? Mace miss a pod. Where's niggas notice when you ain't there? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you keep having that revolving door. It creates an issue. And at his peak, you had SO and Heineken.
Yeah.
At peak, MEO was those guys.
Crazy.
And Mecca was like fucking like Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
In that 4-man situation.
Right there.
And the minute, what was homie name? The old nigga?
Bigger.
You had Bigger in them. When you had Bigger, Mecca, Heineken, SO, and Math.
That was the team.
That was the team, bro.
That was the team.
That was the game.
And one by one, they all left out for various reasons in that consistency. And then you bringing in people who talk over the guests or ask dumbass questions at the worst possible time in the middle of the guest sentence and shit like that. Word to Nori. Nori's the only nigga that we allow that with. You know what I'm saying?
That's Nori.
That you keep running through castmates and the chemistry don't hit the same. Good thing is with the chemistry comes the great pod moments.
That's a fact.
It fucks the brand up. You know what I'm saying? So, MEO, figure it out. And please stop forcing us to listen to your raps.
Please.
The first rap, but it's backpackers and all this.
Quite frankly, he don't even Math. I want to say this to you, and this is with 1,000% respect. You don't have to rap no more, bro. You don't. Your pod shit is elite. You know
that's
what
not
I'm
even the crux of why people are fucking with you right now. They really love the interviews. They love the camaraderie. They love the builds. You got a whole thing with that, bro.
Facts.
And the barbershop is not the pod, brother. Just because you don't have the barbershop don't mean you have to say, I'm quitting the pod. It's over. You know what I mean? That's a very defeatist attitude. And the pod is too significant for you to just tap out like that.
Let me ask you something, man, just for my own ignorance. Has that always been the barbershop? Because I feel like when he was interviewing niggas from I remember there was an interview and he was like doing some rappers from Detroit. Was it always that barbershop?
It was always that barbershop. That one you talk about was with Marv Wine.
Yeah,
another homie.
That was the first time I knew Math was potted.
Yeah, that was on site out in Detroit. That's the only reason they had
that's why it looked different. Okay.
But the barbershop since the beginning, that's been their base.
Shit, there's plenty of barbershops in New York City.
Why did even have to be a barbershop?
Did they even cut hair at that barbershop?
I was
switch your spot. We thought the table was fly until they told us they love the couches, bro.
That's a fact.
They might like the new spot, bro. Like you never know.
You don't need the bar. Maybe the guest backs hurt after sitting in the barber chair for that long.
You feel me?
Just go to a little studio, a little sound, or go to a sound stage and dress it up how you choose to.
Right.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? But we gotta move on. It's time for my favorite segment. Shout out to Macito, bringing you the news, the chatty boy energy.
Yes.
But it's time for my favorite segment, and it's the mailbag. Fun fact, fair warning, in fact. It's not as salacious with the negativity. I leaned into the positive. It's like 70% positive with this episode. But there's some negativity. And we got one of our top haters Anytime this person comments,
I know.
they're hating.
Shout out to them.
I know.
All they do is hate. Sometimes they hate, and then the last time they hated,
Hate.
I commented under they calling them out for being a hater, and they deleted their comment. No, but that didn't stop them from coming back.
Stop coming back and
Spin back.
hating some more. On a
Yeah,
different day.
Said, all right, got some
But you
shit
know,
for
if we ain't doing shit right,
show them.
we wouldn't have haters.
Said, they're on to me.
So Papa was here. No, Papa was there. Pardon himself. Big time rap roundtable hater. I don't know if he dislikes us, but he's a hater. He says this is with the Glasses Malone link up, by the way. Shout out if you haven't seen the Glasses Malone link up on the rap roundtable. Pull up. You know, as we continue to ascend and elevate, we're bringing in new characters into the roundtable universe.
Sure.
You've seen the Company Man. You've seen Ransom. There's a few, who else we had? A few other cats we had on recently.
Marcus Clay.
Marcus Clay.
That was dope too.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like we're continuing to level up and build this thing out. And it's only the first quarter of 2025. You know what I mean? We got some heavy artillery, and I feel like we need to continue to level up because people who are around, they didn't really like us. You know, they didn't like us so much,
Not too much.
or they didn't like the energy that we brought. You know what I'm saying? It was Rand. Oh yeah, you know. Oh, it's a name. The name I forget is the name that I can't say yet.
Copy
I had to pull the message up. You know,
sir.
he can't say that name yet, but he said yes.
Redacted.
Yes.
But redacted. Scheduling will
Until further notice.
Until further notice. But Papa was there throughout all of this success and prosperity and us finding the people that like us, who are willing to curse us out but come back and watch, says, as a South Central native who grew up on G Malone, I'm really disappointed in the interview. I don't think he kept it 100 at all. It's a lot of New York caping. This is not a valid representation of how LA views most of these topics. I think his New York connections made it want to be politically correct and not offend anybody. Respect the OG, but he truly dropped the ball here. So first and foremost, and I'm speaking for myself before I pass it to my guys, there was nothing about that interview, because very early on, we pivoted away from the West Coast conversation, as the hip hop conversation mattered more than getting on some New York and LA shit. Mm-hmm. So first and foremost, I don't understand how LA views these topics. I guess he's upset because he's saying that Los Angeles listen to a lot of East Coast music, and I guess that triggered him. People under this comment, people were saying to him to heal, like let it go type shit, and them comments was getting wild likes. Like they was like telling him to move on, let it go. But when Glasses was talking about it, me just being super logical. Rap in 2025 wasn't rapping like the 80s or the 90s. There was only two options, really two predominant options, with a few outliers in the South. You had the East Coast niggas, which were like maybe 80-85% of the niggas, and the West Coast niggas on radio or whatever access television, if you could get your videos, cable TV, etc. So if the LA niggas was listening to New York raps, who else are they gonna listen to? That was who was rapping.
That was it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this whole idea that, oh, he doesn't represent it and he dropped the ball and that's not how LA feels. It's like, Papa was there. Like, I commend you for being a hater and staying true to the hate. I want to read this comment again. I don't think he kept it 100 at all. And it's a lot of New York caping. We didn't pressure this. Our guest. We didn't. I don't want to say this guy disrespect Glasses Malone. We didn't pressure Glasses Malone on some New York shit. Why does LA? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We had a conversation. This man has been to New York. This is the problem when you give people information. As soon as you give people information, they immediately try to weaponize it against you. Mm-hmm. He been to New York, but he's a proud West Coast fucking Crip. He ain't saying I love everything about New York. He's a pure LA nigga. Yeah. He got some ties to the city. And his experiences, his individual experiences, like helps build his point of view. But to say he dropped the ball is wild. Dude. Like when you hear this from Papa was there, like what do you think about it?
I think he's bugging. It's crazy when G Malone was talking about it. It's funny because that Game verse from I think it was the Hip Hop is Dead joint with Dr. Dre on the beat, Hustlers. Mm-hmm. He's a Compton OG. And I thought to myself, like, when Game said he had a choice between a Nas and a Dre, and he had a dub on him, and he said fuck that and stole both the albums. I was like, even then, like he's saying himself, like we were really locked into the East Coast sound. Like it's been mentioned by other people, so I'm like, maybe you were the one guy who wasn't tapped into what everyone else was tapped into, because multiple people in the West say like, yo, they was fucking with East Coast music, bro. Like maybe your man's just out of touch.
Mesito.
Nah, y'all cooking with that, and also you gotta think about the fact that give Glasses credit. You know, homie, I don't want to say your name. It kind of, you know, it might be pause maybe if I say your name, but homie, it maybe you have to consider the fact that Glasses has been out here. He has associated with New York. Like I think the peanut gallery often wants to see strife. They want to see niggas beef and they want to see problems. But the people in it are like, nah, it's not really like that. So I think Glasses is kind of giving you more of what we say when we're like, yo, we fucking love the West Coast. We say that almost every single episode, if you want to be honest. I feel like Glasses was just kind of giving you the other side of that, showing you like LA feels on some real shit. Obviously, we have our little issues here and there, but on the most part, yeah, he fuck with us just like we fuck with him. I'm sorry that there wasn't enough issues for you. You know what I mean? Go listen to the end of Hit Him Up, my boy.
You'll find.
And the funny thing is, Papa was there with the nigga saying that, oh, I shouldn't speak on West Coast politics, or I'm not versed enough to speak on the West. Then I go and I ask one of the most versed West Coast niggas to come on the Rap Roundtable, and he delivers what many feel is one of the best interviews we've ever had. And it really wasn't an interview, it was a build on our platform. And Papa was there, had the temerity to complain again. A lot of New York caping. Respect the OG, but he dropped the ball. I think his New York connections.
Just say you hate New York.
I was so glad when you popped into the.
He wanted some confirmation.
Bro,
like,
listen, no.
He did.
East Coast, West
I was
Coast,
texting Sin the whole interview like you gotta
need to pull up. Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
so happy to see this nigga Sin. Like
again,
he needed that, bro.
My sincerest, no pun intended, my sincerest apologies for missing that episode. I really felt like shitty about missing that one, but like I had other obligations. I was at the Clive Davis Institute, some things with my other gig that I had to literally be there present for. I did not feel good about missing that build. My brothers held it down as they always do. You know what I mean? I know it's this pod, this brand is always in good hands, no matter whose hands we put it in. From this table. But
can't go.
to homie, bro. I mean, it just sounds like you're gonna be miserable regardless.
Right. If niggas in the comment section is telling you to heal, bro, like literally, one of the comments said heal. One word, heal. Like, you don't like New York? Cool.
This is not the fight. This is not the fight, bro.
It ain't it, bro.
And nothing about our platform says that we trying to be divisive. Granted, sometimes when it comes to Atlanta, we get a little aggressive because of certain things that Atlanta does that we don't like, and they don't like us sometimes. But even still, there's Atlanta niggas that we love. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're not a divisive platform, and like, fuck out of here, Papa. I mean, fuck out of here, bro. I feel like there's people who don't hear that enough. So I'm going to tell you, get the fuck out of here. Because you told us that we're not sanctioned. We can't talk about West Coast shit. And we got the West Coast nigga. And what you want him to come and say, fuck New York? Go rub some ass. Find some vagina. Find some liquor. Find some grass, nigga.
I could almost picture him like rubbing his hands like Birdman, like, oh, that Glass Malone about to tell these motherfuckers off. Like you gotta tell him what's what. You know what I mean? And then we have like an inspirational build.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And this motherfucker's just, these fucking New York motherfuckers again. Why they keep winning?
Tell them they suck.
Yo, shut up, man.
He came with the bucket of popcorn threw it on the ground. Like, fuck, he's agreeing with that. I fucking hate these guys.
That energy is exactly why in the interview Glasses was saying, fuck all of that coastal shit. This is one hip-hop united culture shit. That's why he said that. Because we all tired of this shit.
Keep it moving.
And then we have Solo the South, whose one mission in life is primarily to pull up to our comment section and disagree with us. He never says, you know what, hey guys, love the show. He just pulls up to write long comments and disagree with something. And it's never like, you know how we have, like, let's say an example. Dean's rocking the Met hat. You know what I'm saying? and we'll have a whole topic about the Manhattan. Soul of the South will pull up and talk about some shit that has nothing to do with the Manhattan. Talk about Deanie's t-shirt.
Wow.
Something that had nothing to do with the bill. So case in point, he says, trap rap has been around since the 80s and the early 90s, if you really think about it. It's not about the sound. It's about the dope boy gangster street lifestyle. Ice-T kicked it off with the 6 in the morning back in 86. NWA came with it in 88. Ghetto Boys around 90, 91. UGK came with it in 92, but also Pimp C's production changed the Southern rap sound in the early 90s and made what Southern beats are supposed to sound like. So what I'm hearing from Soul of the South is, it's very convenient. Hold on, guys, because I'm going to pass the ball. But I find it very convenient that based on what he's saying, I find it convenient that he left out the 90s drug and mafioso rap. Because trap rap is not just about the subject matter. It is about the sonics.
The sound too. Bro.
It is about the raw, bombastic sonics that go alongside the subject matter.
Talk about it. Because like by that instance, Jay-Z's trap.
Every drug rapper is trap.
Come on, bro.
Push it to you.
Consider rap song, I know you got something to say.
Nah, man, like come on, like we're not gonna look. We could use the Big Bang Theory on anything. You know what I mean? It all originated from this. We could trace it back, but like when you trace it all the way back, and then leave out the actual origins of shit, like then I know you just have an agenda.
Yeah,
cherry picking.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, all right,
not saying that about you, but that's what a colonizer does. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo,
let's
keep it 100,000 million on this.
About it, Mase.
Wow,
because
bro.
like
That's crazy.
All right, you went to the West Coast, NWA, gangster rap. Like there's a name for that. You know what I mean? Nobody
trap is not gangster rap. You know what I'm saying?
Trap and gangster rap, not the same thing. You know what I mean? He went also somewhere else with it.
Pimp C,
like Pimp C. You know what I mean? But we talk that drug shit here in New York too. So you're gonna like
trap music too,
only built for Cuban links. Is that trap?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah,
what he's
it's
saying.
on the stove, so it's trap.
According
You know
to
what I
him,
mean? Like
according to him, Curtis Mayfield, "I'm Your Pusher Man" was a trap record. Bro.
hey,
fuck out
like,
of
and
here.
we could go so
What the
like
fuck
again.
are you talking about, nigga?
There's always a precursor to
Throw the
everything.
future
You know what I
on.
mean?
Facts.
So like, go ahead with that, man.
And the
Like,
thing is, he cherry picked that from us talking about the trap sound and how I had said I experienced trap through T.I., Jeezy, Gucci, left, came back, and somehow Miley Cyrus was using trap drums. And then it was like, what the fuck is going on? Why are white people like colonizing trap? Sorry, Walt. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then the new trap sound came through. You know, the Migoses, the Futures of the world, the other Atlanta acts who really brought it back to the way it was supposed to be at. Mm-hmm. And somehow you took that conversation and said that trap been around since the 80s, man. Yo,
turn that shit off.
Next time China come back, we gotta ask her to do that.
Yeah,
turn that shit off.
For real.
Or we could just take it from the song.
Nah, we need. Nah, it's better when you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next,
especially since we have the access.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. But it's just like it just speaks to somebody that always wants to sound smarter than the next person, at whatever cost.
Well, actually, I hate well actually ass niggas. Like shut the fuck up. Them be the niggas in the barbershop that get told to shut the fuck up. Sit in the corner, nigga.
Well, actually, she's very pretty to me.
Word.
Fuck out of here.
Next entry is for Masito.
Yo.
OVO representative, DJ Tim Space King.
Oh shit.
8306 says.
That's the whole name, bro?
Yes. Yeah. Now, I added the OVO.
Oh, okay, I was about to say, wow.
I'm not mad at Drake. He's the person who steals the ball and catches it and shoot it and scores it just like a person who on the football game got tackled and I took the football away from him for the touchdown. I love Drake music more. He needs like no periods, no commas,
no punctuation,
no nothing, no punctuation. I really don't care about the ghostwriting or nothing. Can you just make good music? I really like his music better, but that's my opinion. I still going to love his music no matter his catalog is good to me. I know people are gonna get mad at me, but I don't care. Yo, bro, commas and periods, my friend.
They exist.
Masito.
DJ Space King, you know, although there was some grammatical correction needed in there, you kind of completely described the complete Drake fan experience. Like, just be a fan of the music. Don't worry about him being cool. Don't worry about Ghost Riders. Don't worry about him getting beat up and pissed on. Don't worry about, you know, him losing battles. You know what I mean? Just, you know, just worry about the tunes, baby. Baby girl.
Facts. We got some positivity here. From the Glasses Malone interview, Angela Fields 5768 says, this podcast was fire. Keep on being the top tier podcast in rap. Enjoy the jewels of knowledge being dropped by everyone. Appreciate you, Angela. I love that people are starting to understand that we got some good crack over here. Thank you, Angela Jules. Curtis West, 6728. And this is a question I have for the table afterwards. 4 brothers letting the guests speak. Great job, fellas. Is that a thing in podcasts? Guests are not allowed to speak?
Shout out to Nori, man. Guess not.
Talk about it.
Drink champs don't have a point guard. I say that.
Listen, I mean, you know what I mean? Professionals over here.
Yeah.
Professionals that respect each other, you know.
Yeah, we genuinely want to hear what niggas have to say. We didn't ask them to come up here for no fucking reason.
Right. I ain't asked you to come to cut you off.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and we classy at the Rap Roundtable. Y'all ain't never heard a beeping smoke detector in our lives, have we?
Never.
We classy guys, man.
Shout out to
classy
Kevin
You
guys.
might hear a baby or two in the background, but that's about it. You know what I
But
mean?
them batteries is working.
oh, shit.
And then last but not least, we got a bunch of love from our mini doc for the Rome Streets and Friends show.
Great work, gang.
Firebird Phoenix says, this whole shit fire. Front to back, the vibes was on the music alone was like a 90s mixtape with a 20-minute video. Rim and Fergie baby, though. The Rap Roundtable for president. Y'all making hip-hop great again with the culture first agenda. Gentlemen, much love. Firebird Phoenix.
That's
See what it is,
Appreciate
Firebird, man.
Shouts to Firebird.
Dom does. Shout out Dom. He rolling out. He got a new podcast
Gang,
out.
gang.
Got some music out as well. Through the Flaming Heart. He understands. He knows the people who are at this show. He understands what we're trying to do and what we're trying to establish.
Shouts to Dom, man.
African Hippie says, just finished watching the Luther video and I see this pop up. Being our doc. Thanks, fellas. Chrome Fillin says, tapping in live from Los Angeles. Big up Rome Streets. We need more of these classic New York steez in the forefront. Yes, yes. Last but not least,
West.
what's his name? Joey02 says, salute the Rap Roundtable for keeping hip hop first. Yes. Appreciate. And I think that was a takeaway. Because at first I was kind of like nervous about doing the doc the way some of like the audio sounded. Then the more I thought about it, I was like, this is gonna feel like them old shits with like the niggas in the crowd.
Niggas cared,
with
bro.
the raw audio, just interviewing niggas. I was like, this is really good. It wasn't meant to be a throwback, but that's what it's gonna end up being.
Because
Right.
it's that it's the restored that feeling,
Right.
bro.
So then when niggas was commenting, like, this feel like some old shit, I'm like, well, yeah.
Tunnel
Yeah.
vibes, man.
And everything
was
is so
dope.
glossy and perfect. Shout out to the nigga from France who interviewed Rome at the end. He had his big boom light, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
with the attached to the camera. Our shit was raw. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Shout out to the homie Church too that we met in there. He was a cool nigga.
Cool
man.
cat,
Yeah.
great photo work. And it was just like, this shit actually came off the way the audience and niggas who's listening to this music and watch this podcast would appreciate. And for the comment section to show that amount of love and get what was going on, 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Love y'all.
Yeah.
But now that we've gotten all the positivity out of the way, we are somewhere in New York City. A bunch of vagrants. It's raining outside. Niggas' outfits is getting ruined. And we need you too. Get off my lawn. Get off Cecilia's lawn.
Well, we're not gonna cease all of the positivity just yet.
Okay.
'Cause I do wanna hand out some flowers. A few flowers from a few begonias from my lawn. You know what I mean? And it does, we always synergize, you know what I mean? I didn't know this is where he was gonna end up in the mailbag segment at the end. But I wanna revisit the night that we had at the town, the Rome Streets presents the town at Baby's All Right, because I mean we saw such a wide array of talent that we have here in the town in New York, you know what I mean? And talent that we have showcased before, we have spoken to. We have Def Soldier, Rim, Rome Streets, China Streets, Ace SL. Like these are a lot of artists that have come through the Rap Roundtable. Either sat Nimlo, 183rd. They've either sat at this couch or at that table over there. That's
Stargella
off.
coming up soon.
You know what I mean? Off screen. Stargella coming up soon. But there was one person in particular, one artist in particular that really, it really struck me, like how ready he is to really, you know, represent the town and carry that baton and that torch for New York. And that's Fergie Baby.
Harlem River Drive.
And look, like we came out naturally for Rome Streets. Rome Streets, his name, it doesn't need any introduction. Like Rome Streets is Rome Streets. You know what I mean? He's been killing it for like years now. But like at least to me, Fergie Baby is a new name to me. You know what I mean? It's a new sound to me. I've already, you know what I mean? And actually, all credits due. Like Jarva's the one that threw Fergie Baby in the chat. I tapped in, I tuned in. Harlem River Drive, that song right there alone, phenomenal. Like the energy behind that song. You know what I mean? The fact that he represents Harlem, like, look, Harlem is such a staple in New York, but like when we really think back on it, you know what I mean? Every time that we talk about the best rappers of the city, it is Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx. You know what I mean? Yeah. When it's Harlem, you know what I mean? We got Cam, we got Big L,
Mase.
Mase. You know what I mean? But Big L, who, you know, his life was cut short tragically. You know what I mean? The list seems like it feels or seems shorter for Harlem for some reason. You know what I mean? So the fact that Fergie Baby is repping for the town, repping for Harlem the way that he is, incredible. But seeing him perform live,
crazy.
Whole new tier, whole new level of respect for him, because the way that, like, the stage presence he has, the way he commands the stage, the way he commands the mic, pause if applicable, but like the way he commands like everything on that stage. You know what I mean? He has. I knew it was
from
coming.
the era of Chewy's, BBs, and Kates.
Fire,
bro.
But look, and the way that like you could feel that he feels strong. He cares. He feels strongly about the legacy of this city, but he also, I think he's like early to mid 20s, somewhere in that age range. I think. Yep. You know what I mean? He does a phenomenal job of blending that classic aesthetic with newer sounds, with newer energy, with fresh energy. You know what I mean? You see him hit the stage and it doesn't feel like he's trying to like rehash, the
stage show.
Yeah.
That boy crazy. Different. He the next one. I've been saying it for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
I think Fergie the next one, bro.
Everything he performed the new joint Wild Out. He performed Suburbans.
He's very comfortable on the stage, and you see like the how he moves, how he contorts himself. It's like this guy wants, when he's on the stage, that's exactly what he wants to be,
bro.
So with like the music is there, the presence is there. You know what I mean? The delivery is there, the bars is there, the energy is there. Like, to bring this to a close, like absolute 100% flowers, all the flowers from my lawn for Fergie Baby. Again, I'd heard the music. I'd heard the music and was incredibly impressed. But watching the live stage show and the presence that he has, up next, 100%. Like, and to take it a step further, I'm disappointed in New York radio. Like,
that, right?
Harlem Baby should be playing. Harlem River Drive should be playing
everywhere,
somewhere on New York.
Chewy's, BBs, radio. And Kane should be. Suburban.
Like that's what New York sounds like. You know what I mean? Like,
is he talking about?
He's not doing like the sexy drill thing. Although he's young enough, and I think he's skilled enough to where I think he could pull it off if he tried it.
Nah, he's
and strangely enough, you mentioned that because that's like that whole crowd before Jarvis sent them to the group chat. that's the crowd I was familiar seeing Fergie Baby with, like that young, sexy
Okay.
drill, like the women. So when you sent them and he had the boom bap feel to him as well, I was like, oh damn.
And he
you know
said
what
as
I mean?
much in
Artillery.
the little quick interview we did after he got off the stage. It was like he said it himself. He wants to bring that boom bap energy, but with a modern twist.
Yeah.
And things when I listen to him, I'm like, he don't, because there's a lot of guys who chase that Griselda aesthetic.
Yeah, man.
Once Griselda went crazy, right from the towns too, and they good at rapping, so we listen to it. But at the same time, we do need something new,
Yeah.
Raw.
something that sounds familiar but
Fresh.
new.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like he is that guy that's going to be able to bring that. Like there might be niggas who's more lyrically dexterous than him, but I think he has everything you need to, and he got the presence. He's not ugly, so the chicks are gonna tap in. Like as long as he gets that push, and you made a hell of a point saying about radio, and this is the point. Like when people say New York is falling off, I'm like, yo, radio was not even dictating city when it comes to New York. They only top 40, even the hip hop stations. It's all about top 40. It's not about the city no more. So when y'all talk about what New York is not doing, it's like you actually New York is what the South used to be, in my opinion. You got to come here.
Yeah.
To know what's going on. If you waiting for the internet to tell you, you're never gonna know.
And shout out to my Harlem niggas, man. If nothing else, a Harlem nigga gonna have some charisma. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna take it one step further, and I might ruffle some feathers. But I'm gonna challenge some people out there, specifically Rosenberg, who has the platform late night with Rosenberg on I think Sunday nights. You know what I mean? Like I appreciate what you've done. You know, with the Rome Streets, with the Griselda cats, with Davies, with everybody. But like, you know what I mean? Like, look at somebody that's outside of that, you know, that box.
Your comfort zone, right?
You know what I mean? Look at a Fergie Baby and see what he's doing. Listen to his music. Like, feel the energy, feel the freshness of the New York aesthetic, but with a modern twist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I challenge everybody out there to like support more of that fresh New York sound, and don't just look at, you know, oh, New York is supposed to sound like 1990 whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I challenge everybody out there. You know what I mean? Again, Fergie Baby, 100% impressed from that show.
Man.
You know what I mean?
What
now
about the law, though, Sid?
Yeah, getting to I know we're running long. Pause. But as to who or what needs to get kicked off my lawn tonight. This is gonna be like a sort of multi-tiered lawn, as if we weren't running long enough already. But it's gonna start here. B dot.
Oh wow.
Stop assaulting us with your lists, man.
Son.
Assaulting.
I feel assaulted. I feel attacked. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like every time. Is that your only job? Is that like your gig at the moment to post rage bait on Twitter X?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because
He's not respected, so he got to do the
well,
rage bait to
because
get
like we see
engagement.
2T's. 2T's is, you know, he's over there with DJ Head and Jeremy Huck.
He found his new home.
Is his last name Hakta? Is it a spit?
It ain't, but that's what I call him from now on. It is now.
Holy shit.
No disrespect,
Where
but
we
like
going?
that last name is crazy.
It's hecked, bro.
All right, Hakta. Hakta. All right.
No disrespect after that is crazy.
It's all jokes here, man. It's all jokes. But like, yeah, like wait, you know, 2T's is you guys this platform over there with those two guys. Like, what's your gig now? Like, is it just posting awful, terrible lists on
Mike
Twitter?
Angela Yee, bro.
Oh man. Angela B.
2T's really got that man with a whiteboard and some markers. On
Bro.
IG
I like
Live.
how they casually broke up and didn't tell nobody.
That's crazy.
The top 10 rap posse cuts, throw it in the trash. The top 10
in the trash.
best rap,
Throw it in the
I guess,
trash.
guest verses. Throw that shit in the trash too. Get the fuck off my
Shit,
lawn.
son.
But then, to take it a step further, I see certain people on Twitter /X who are following suit. Like they're taking inspiration from B Dot, which is wild to me because they're also posting absolutely terrible, horrible lists on whiteboards with like markers and shit. Like
they went to the store to buy that.
Bro, they was like, yo, I think he's onto something. Let me go buy a whiteboard and some fucking markers.
Let me be unoriginal.
Bro, I see, like, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna holler bro's name, but like I seen this one list, the top 10 albums of 1999. I'm not gonna go through the whole list, but Immobilarity made it onto the list.
Wow.
Which is
that upset me.
Which is insane to me. Like out of 99, they were like Chronic, like Dr. Dre Chronic 2001 was not on the list, nowhere to be found.
Wow. What? Damn.
So I'm thinking, all right, maybe that's a little too lush, a little too West Coast. Most Def, Black on Both Sides, which is generally regarded as probably the best, if not one of the best albums of 1999. Also not on the list, but Immobilarity made it. Crazy. Get the fuck off my lawn.
That sounded like Matt Slander made that list.
It was not Mad Slander, but it's a Jace. Mad Slander or Jace. Moving on to Billboard. Billboard is just perpetually get the fuck off my lawn. Mm-hmm. I mean, they made a list of the best female rappers of all time, top 25. I'm not getting into it, but Cardi B is somewhere near the top 10.
Wow. 11.
Number 11.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Absolutely not. Left Eye, better than Rhapsody. I don't think so. I'm not gonna get into it.
Rhapsody have a guest version.
What's that?
Get the fuck off my lawn. Left Eye wasn't even a real rap. Like, all right, I'm not gonna get into it, but get the fuck off my lawn.
Get us killed by the TLC fans.
Nah, I get it. But and last but not least, this. I'm trying to get off like away from these terrible fucking lists on Twitter /X. I go over to Instagram and there's this fucking account that I follow. The top 20 white rappers of all time, bro.
There's 20?
The top 20.
There's 20?
White. Sorry, Walt. But the top 20 white rappers of all time, bro.
What's wrong with that list?
There's 20 top white rappers.
Listen, it's at the
There's some
point.
nice white dudes.
It's at the point where we're talking about. We're talking about Esoteric and ASAP Rock. Not ASAP Rocky, ASAP Rock.
Yo,
MC
Slug.
Sauce gotta be on there. MC Search gotta be on there.
When I tell you I am absolutely up to here with lists, I'm done with lists. Mm-hmm. All of the lists, whatever list you have on your mind that you want to put out there, don't do it. Mm-hmm. Keep it to yourself. Write it in your diary, bro. Like invest in a diary. Write that shit in your diary. Keep that shit to yourself. I don't want to see no more fucking lists, bro. All of the lists got to get off my lawn.
It's over.
All of them. It's over for the list. The list era is done.
So
no more lists.
B Dot, Billboards with their shitty top 25 list. Basically, the connective tissue of all of this is lists for the rest of 2025 can get off Sincere's lawn. He's sick of you niggas.
I'm done.
Bum ass.
He gonna whoop your ass if he see you make a list, nigga.
Get off my lawn.
Quite frankly, all these lists.
You niggas won.
Get better at it. This is episode 121 of the Rap Roundtable. We hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed recording it.
Sir.
It was a blast. We are all a little lit right now.
Yeah.
Smack.
Deeming it balanced. If you can,
I can.
take us home.
Shout out to Walt the Great, first and foremost. Always staying to the end of the session with us, you know. Love you, my guy. Shout out to the fucking chat, man. Where would we be without the chat? From the day ones to the year sixes. Y'all been rocking with us since for the longest. All the people that's fucking with us now. The comments, the engagement, the love, the likes, the subscription. We truly appreciate it all. We're fully rocking with y'all. Masito, voice of the culture. Keeping you locked into what's going on. You hear the production. He makes beats.
Super producer.
Super producer, Sincere the Rap Snob. You know what it is. Jarvie, legend in 2 games like Pee Wee Kirkland.
It's 4 games now.
4 games?
Yeah.
Oh shit, we gotta update the fucking
I'm
recipe.
doing live
then.
interviews.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at
My
that.
actual career, the podcast, you know, little bit of directorial
You're pretty
shit.
good dad too, if I
alongside
say so
Sin,
myself.
You know what I
You've
mean?
been
I
doing
try.
You've been doing your
It's a
thing
lot.
with that.
I try, man.
I'm proud of y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? I'm
A lot of
needy-
hats.
You're
needy the balance of the
None
force.
of them with bent brims though, but a
No,
lot of
no,
hats.
the
no
brim.
bent,
No bent
no
crowns,
no.
nigga.
It was like all the way,
Send the shooter.
on an old school, on an old
Wrinkled
school
Yankee polo on. Whoa.
doing.
Why your camera so low? Why we seeing your
We're sorry
your
to veer off course, ladies and gentlemen. But it's
You
what
ain't
we
wanted to see that
doing.
popcorn ceiling. I know you didn't.
Come on, bro.
The bed with
I know
no
you
sheets,
Nah, nigga, block me. It's free smoke.
no sheet
You know what I
in
mean?
bed. Yo,
Y'all
shout out
Why
to
his
y'all,
eyes are so
man.
wide? When
I
he
just
was
started
talking
kicking
about
him after
that
y'all
shit?
beat him up first.
Nigga said one breath and
The
everybody
nigga
else can't
had
breathe.
the nigga had on a wrinkled crown fitted hat with the crooked brim.
Ugh.
He the reason why New York gets slammed.
Yo, it's them type of
Yo.
niggas that make us look bad. But yo,
Facts,
the
man.
Rap Roundtable episode 121. You know what the fuck it is, gang? We out of here. Hit the like button.
Sir,
Love.
see y'all soon. And if not, you know what I mean? Rest of you niggas
Niggas, what?
can't fuck with us.